How old was Andy when he called that shot?
Wasn't me.
Dane. I think what is Dane?
Yeah.
You know Jack Zimmerman? You know Jack?
Yeah.
He lives about a quarter mile from that guy in Elysian, Minnesota. And that's his dog that screams. Bear, good dog.
Screaming ass loud.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Boom! And welcome to the Big Honker Podcast, brought to you by Pacific Game Calls. I'm Jeff Stanfield with the world famous Andy Shaver.
Happy to be here.
Rodeo time and turkey rodeo, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's this weekend coming up.
I thought that was 25th.
That's this weekend coming up.
Is it?
Yes.
Time gets away from me.
I mean, this is going to come out on Monday, and Monday is
Jeff,
going to be...
I don't question you. It's fine.
What
it's
is
fine.
what is-
25th.
Today's the 13th.
Okay,
14th,
cool.
21st. Don't be trying to rush me. You're kind of
Well,
horse's ass today.
you're just beating a dead horse here.
How am I beating a dead horse? I'm trying to clarify
It's
for all
this
the
weekend.
listeners. Okay. So, anyways, turkey rodeo at Pacific headquarters. What's the name of the town in Idaho?
Coeur d'Alene, isn't it?
No. It's somewhere else. Something Falls. Post Falls.
Post Falls,
Post
Idaho.
Falls, Idaho is where
You
it
should
is.
know it's on your judge call that you're so proud of.
It is, but I didn't look up at Post Falls now. Why would I not be proud of that, dickhead? You're trying to minimize my judge call now.
He's sensitive today, boys.
I am.
Hell, one of 7,492.
He is sensitive. Phew.
With us today from Attila, Alabama.
Atala.
You say Attila, I say Attila.
Attila.
I heard you say pecan earlier instead of pecan.
Crappies.
And from Eustis, Texas, Mr. Dusty Barber and Mr. Stacey Coker. How are you guys doing?
Just great.
Doing wonderful.
I got the town right, Eustis?
Yes, sir.
That's the cul-de-sac with the hood, right?
Yeah.
Goddamn, I love this lodge.
Dude, well, I'm proud of that. I'm what makes me feel good.
You walk in, it's just a damn museum, ain't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it really is.
I like old things. From my wife to my decoys. They're all old.
Yeah.
So,
You outpunted your coverage on your lady.
she's lucky she hit the lottery in life. So, Dusty, I want to talk about Eustis for a minute. You told me a good story at dinner tonight. You had someone shot behind your truck the other night. Can we talk about this?
Sure.
And somebody, his neighbor, has got a little problem. His house goes boom every once in a while.
From meth?
Yeah, it's a little methy over there.
It could be. They swear it's not, but every time it blows up, they won't let the cops in.
We got it.
But
We got it. We got
But
it.
it's in a damn nice neighborhood. I pull up over there, and
Yeah.
it's a damn. It's a nice place.
Pull this a little bit closer to you, Stacey.
Okay.
I want to know how the hell they got on that kind of financing deal. I guess they have some kind of prison financing where you can get a $300,000 house for $300 a month.
Yeah, they're paying like interest only payments, but it was some kind of program because they had kids that I really don't know all the details. I just know that that's the only way they could afford it.
Am I putting you on the spot by talking about this? Because I don't mean to be.
Not at all.
But anyways, so that y'all have a shooting in your neighborhood the other night, and somebody gets popped right by your wife's truck.
They ran and they were you could
Collapsed
blood trail
right
them right there. They fell off of the culvert, and you can see where they face planted and bloody spot in our yard. And they had a care flight, and we watched the helicopter come pick them up in the pasture across the road.
We were at the Pakistani Hilton in Hobart, Oklahoma, and it's it's hunting season, and it's midnight, 1 o'clock.
I think it was about 9:30, Andy. It just seemed like it was late. We went to bed about 7
Felt
o'clock
like-
back then.
Either way, we were asleep, and the world just erupted above us, just thumping and bodies falling and people screaming. And was it a prostitute? I guess.
She was naked.
Yeah, so Jeff looks out the window, and there's a lady hiding in between the vehicles, naked, bloody.
There's snow on the ground and ice. It's cold. I mean, I'm telling you, it's probably 14 degrees.
On a scale of 1 to 10,
It's about 6.5.
hotness.
Yeah, if you take the tattoos off of her, and her titties look like fried eggs on nails. Probably been used a bunch, but other than that, she probably wasn't a bad looking woman.
But if Mama had bottom land,
Yeah, oh, definitely, it's worth some hunting land. But
be 8, solid 8.
I don't give a shit if I'm in Las Vegas. I'm not used to opening up the door. First of all, that's the only place that I stay at where you open the door to the parking lot of a hotel. I mean, it was
Anymore.
and we nicknamed it the Pakistani Hilton, but I opened the door and there was a naked lady laying there and there was blood. You want me to tell the story or do you want to tell it?
Go ahead.
So I called.
You remember it better than I do. Anyway.
I called 911 It's like 9:30, but during hunting season, 9:30 felt like it's midnight. And so I go, "Are you okay?" Some guy, "She's okay," and he grabs her and they start walking off to there. So I called 911. I said, "Listen, something's going on." This cop rolls up about 30 minutes later. I'm not lying to y'all. This cop was 5'3" and weighed $105. 21, 22 years old. And I see him and I say, "Hey, there's some kind of domestic going on upstairs." And you can see the blood. I mean, up down the sidewalk. I said, "This lady was naked laying by my truck and this other car here." "Okay." I said, he started walking. "Where are you going?" He goes, "I'm going up there." I said, "Are you not calling for backup?" "Well, it'd take them 30 minutes to get here." I said, "It might be in your best interest to wait 30 minutes for someone to get here that's full size." Yeah. I mean, I said,
You don't know. He might be a scrapper.
"There's no way in hell."
70s bush or
You know what? I think it was clean.
There was too much blood.
Slick as a whistle, probably. So I don't know that you'd have said that at the time. That wasn't what was on my mind. I was still sorry because I was afraid they knocked her teeth out, or she didn't have teeth before. I don't know.
That's probably more like it.
But anyway, so I told this kid, I said, "You better get somebody to help you and stuff." "Well," I said, I said, "I'm not trying to tell you your business, but I said this could be pretty dangerous." So I'm like, "Shit." So I go over and get a gun out of my bag in case shit happens. At least I got my gun. So anyways, he goes upstairs and some other cops get here. And so the next day I asked Kenny G is the guy. It's a Pakistani guy named Kenny G. I know that's it. Actually, he was from India because we had a conversation about Muslims one time and he was from Hindu and they don't like Muslims. But we come out one day and him and his old lady she's chewing on his ass in the parking lot. I don't give a shit what language it is. If you're getting your ass chewed out, you can tell someone's getting their ass
Very
chewed out.
universal.
Oh, yeah. And I was watching him. I said, so she walked off. Walked in the house. I told him, I said, "You know, Kenny G?" I said, "I don't know what language she was using, but I could tell she was chewing on your ass." I said, "That is universal." That's what I told him. And you don't ask a Hindu guy about a steak because, they don't eat beef and stuff. I said, "Oh, you don't eat that kind of stuff." "We eat lots of stuff we're not supposed to." That's what he told me. Anyways, the cops came, and the next day I asked about it, and nobody knew. Kenny G didn't know nothing about it happened or nothing. And then the guy worked. They were building a bridge there, and he was a convicted felon. Wasn't supposed to have a gun. Had a gun. They fired him. It was a bad deal. Beat the hell out of this old gal. But I did. I couldn't open the doors if I got a naked woman at her door.
God. Not what you're expecting at 2 o'clock in the morning.
you know,
2:00 now.
you talking about them Hindus? There's a time of year that they don't bathe, and they're always putting cow piss in their food.
Huh?
Oh yeah,
In their food?
In their food.
I know they wash their hands with cow piss.
They get it imported.
Huh? So
Like,
imported cow piss is better than...
like in damn vampire movies, you'll say it, holy water. Well, then they get that holy cow piss. And they mix it in their food, and they don't wash, and they put on a damn bracelet. And you can't take it off. They can't take it off till it just wears the ass off. So there's a part of the year that they're a stinking motherfucker.
I didn't go to school with any... I went to school with some Indian kids. We had a family. Guess what their last name was? And they were in the hotel business.
Patel.
Bingo.
Yep.
But they never... They must have been some highfalutin Indians because they never stunk. So I never have been around the stinking Hindus. So I'm sure there are some, but I was not exposed to any of them. But this cow piss deal's got me really calling bullshit on this stuff now. They're putting in their food?
Oh, yeah. And dabbing it behind their ears and shit like that. Them that don't do it are backsliders. kind of like, what do they call them, wet Methodists?
What do you think, Andy? You're a wet Methodist?
What's a wet Methodist?
I think a Methodist that drinks, isn't it?
Oh, I thought
all Methodists drank.
I thought that's why we joined that religion.
Yeah,
so
no,
we
I'm
didn't
become a
drink.
Baptist. You do it to drink.
I thought they did it at church every now and then with a piece of bread.
They were doing it tonight at there's a Seder supper. I didn't go, but they were having wine.
Do they do that green apple crown royal every now and then?
Nope.
White monsters with it?
Crazy as it gets is a little bit of sour wine on the Seder supper once a year.
So green apple crown and white monster.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
Yeah,
It's glorious.
That's called a shitty Kevin. We got a partner that thinks he invented that shit, so I call it shitty Kevin. But you can get about 3 of them monsters down, you get to throbbing. You're vibrating.
I bet. Yeah.
I've never had a white monster or a blue monster, or any kind of monster. And I've only had green apple crown once and was not really... I don't understand why you take a good whiskey and you screw it up.
This is pretty good.
It really is. It changed your religion.
Green apple and white. Have you even had a white Monster?
I don't think so.
Have you had a green apple Crown?
Yeah, they're sugar free.
Yeah, drink enough of them though, it's still gonna make your heart
Oh yeah.
explode.
Oh yeah. we're duck hunters, right?
I used to drink Red Bull vodkas, and I had too many of those one night, and my body did not know what to do.
you
Do I
lay-
want to go to sleep and pass out? Do I want to fucking go run a marathon? I don't know what to do.
Get
here.
drunk, stay up all night.
Oh,
Lay in bed and feel like you're levitating.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
not a
one
good.
of those.
That's not a good feeling.
Boom, boom, boom.
You don't know where to go. Don't know where to go.
That doesn't even sound fun. But I'm not a drinker, so I don't the worst night in the world is when you get drunk and the clock goes.
That's one of the worst things I do. Is there's two bad when I go to heaven, I'm gonna have to answer for two things: my dirty jokes. God Almighty, I love a dirty joke, and my drinking.
If that's the only things you've got a question about in life, you got to pretty much a shoe in then, because I can think of a whole lot more shit on my list.
You know, and these folks think they got it up on me, but I mean that's the worst things I do.
That ain't bad at all.
How old are you?
62.
62, and you're telling me in your time of dating you never ever heard no, and that meant well maybe yes. See there's three things. Wouldn't you hate to be a young guy dating nowadays?
Hell yeah.
There's no adventure.
No, I don't know.
I don't know. I think it's
think
pretty easy.
I don't think you have to work
It's
near as
kinda
hard now.
Here.
That's,
Before you know.
that's probably true, the working part, but we had to work for it.
When you and me were dating, there had to be some damn commitment.
Hold on, let's rephrase that. When we were dating at our age, so I don't want nobody thinking me and you dated.
Yeah,
ever.
I mean, when we were, all right, in the 80s,
Yeah.
there had to be some commitment.
yes, I agree.
There had to be some commitment made.
There wasn't as many easy people as it is nowadays. It don't seem like.
No.
There
Wasn't
were.
a
They're just
Tinder.
harder to find.
There wasn't as many.
You don't
There
think so?
were some, yes, not like it. I mean, no, girls had a lot more. Well, the thing is, I don't think girls look down on other girls that have sex now. When we were in school, the other girls would
Oh,
maybe it's because they weren't and they wanted to, but they would look down and talk bad about them. So there's a lot of peer pressure for them not to do nothing and not let it to be known.
them sluts.
So if you found a girl that was willing to, you damn sure didn't want to go around bragging about it because you didn't want to ruin it for yourself.
Right.
Well, nowadays it don't seem like it's real hard. Now everybody's got a teenage daughter is like, what the hell are you talking about? Well, I got bad news for you. Reality is, and the statistics are showing, probably a lot more girls having sex before they're 18 than there was 20 years ago and 40 years ago and 60 years ago.
Not my daughter.
Yeah, that's what everyone of them says.
Not my daughter.
I don't know that I agree with that, because if you look a long time ago, people were popping out babies at 16 and 17 years old.
Because they're not,
they
you couldn't
were-
get an abortion at the Alsons
But
either.
when Jeff and I were in high school and a girl got pregnant,
It's big news.
uh-huh.
No, I meant further back than that, like 50s.
They,
Mom and Dad took you,
Yeah.
sent you off somewhere and probably adopted your baby.
look at your stats there, stat man. I'll
Well,
bet you
I
in
just know, like-
1965, the percentages of 18-year-old girls that had had sex is a whole lot smaller than it is today. A whole lot smaller.
I just know that we started families a lot earlier, a long time ago.
Well, I'm not talking about a 19-year-old girl that was married or 18-year-old girls married. I'm talking about girls that were dating in high school.
Just hooking up.
Yeah. There wasn't very many Porky's as a movie. It's not reality, I don't think, of really what was going on in the 60s. If it was, I wish I'd have been around in the 60s. Because those look like I'd been a fun group of people to hang out with.
And actually, right now, everything is going down. Teens having sex, teen pregnancy, teens drinking, teens doing drugs. Everything is going down, and it's going down fast.
Well, teenagers
Like
don't
when
seem
they
like
start,
much fun, does
the
it?
age when they start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like but no teens are drinking anymore. No teens are smoking anymore. No teens are having sex anymore.
It's because they don't socialize no more.
Did y'all?
I did not say that it did that there weren't some consequences, but yes, nobody's leaving their fucking bedroom
Yeah.
anymore.
So did y'all have a place to cruise?
Oh, fuck yeah. We had Kemp Street in Wichita Falls. It was 2 miles of pure bliss.
Yeah.
It was fun.
did that
The
shit.
windows rolled down. It was a good time.
Playing Highway to Hell.
Oh, well, that was before.
Oh,
but that would have been a
8-track,
freshman.
8-track.
Oh, that's way before me. But yes, I do remember an 8-track.
Yeah.
Me and Michelle were in Wichita, I don't know, 3-4 months ago, and I was listening to the 80s. And what's that song by Poison? Some party or something. One of their something good time or whatever it was at Poison. One of their rock songs, big time rip songs.
I know what you're
I
talking
said,
about.
boy, I bet I heard that song 1,000 times on this trip in my lifetime. I mean, it was every night, 2 or 3 times a night. but it was the same. A lot of Van Halen, a lot of Jump, a lot of Panama. But yeah, but kids don't ride around no more.
We was talking about Van Halen on the trip up here. There's two bands that I can think of that when you hear 2 or 3 licks on the of anything, you never heard it. Van Halen and ZZ Top.
Tush, boy, what a good tune. Whew. Do you know, I'm going to tell you something about Eddie Van Halen. I'm a big Eddie Van Halen fan. Everybody knows that. My favorite band of all time. What is that right
your
there?
numbers from 1990.
Okay, well, I'm talking 1990 was still Windsor. I'm talking about if you go to kids today.
Well, them motherfuckers right there don't know if they're boys or girls.
Yeah.
So I ain't worried about them.
So in 1991, 38% of 15 to 17-year-old females were given.
That's pregnancy.
Okay, I'm just talking about girls putting out.
Well,
Getting
Jeff,
one past the goalie is a whole different deal.
Second base.
But we were talking about, we were talking about Van Halen. The song Thriller by Michael Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Vincent Price done that cameo in it. Mm-hmm. You know how much money Vincent Price got for that?
I heard nothing.
What do you think he got? It wasn't nothing. You have any idea, Dusty?
Wouldn't even know where to begin.
Andy?
Do you know who Vincent Price was?
No.
He was an old horror movie guy, an actor.
Scare your ass to death.
And he in the prelogue of Thriller, he's like, something come before the night falls, blah, blah, blah.
Does that damn weird laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thriller, whatever they say. Michael Jackson had him do that. He told him, he said, Mr. Price, I will give you, he said, I'll give you so much percentage of the royalties. He goes, I'm not interested. I'm old. I don't need royalties. He said, give me $20,000 for it. Okay, $20,000. Song's the greatest, or not the greatest song ever, but the number 1 selling album of all time. So he would have gotten co-songwriting for that. He would get, or whatever. He'd have made a lot of money off of it. That same album, on Beat It, Eddie Van Halen does a guitar solo. Mm-hmm. He done it for free. He said, I don't need no money. It's good. He would have made about $10 million off just his share of royalties just for the guitar lick. Both of them would have. Vince Price got $20,000 for doing that Thriller over that stuff. Anyways, but yeah, I'm a big Van Halen. And I like the old Van Halen, but I also did like it with Sammy Hagar.
Sammy's good.
Yep. Both of them were excellent, but it was really good music. I like ZZ Top. The greatest band of all time, if they would
Billy Gibbons can hit a lick.
I think the greatest rock and roll band of all time, and the only reason they're not is because of longevity and because their lead singer was a total asshole, is Guns N' Roses. If Guns N' Roses would have made about 5 more albums, they would have been the greatest ever. They were an amazing, just like Nirvana was an amazing group.
Yeah.
They were the same way, and there's no telling what would have happened if Leonard Skinner would have been around for another 10 or 15 years because they were phenomenal.
Because hell, these damn kinfolks are making bank
for
what they did in the 70s.
What a great band. But I think that's the same with Guns N' Roses. And then when you see Axl play now, it's absolutely embarrassing.
He is.
He's horrible looking. He looks like the stunt double for Kathy Bates in Misery.
Oh, he does. It's bad. That Lisa Marie's funeral, he sang November Rain.
Yeah.
I was embarrassed for him. I can't sing for shit, and I could have sang as good as he did.
He's just doing the best he can.
My wife, speaking of something really weird, Michelle has been watching this show on Netflix about these people that are special people that are dating.
Just autistic.
Yeah. What's the name of the show? Is it Down in Love?
Dating on the Spectrum.
Dating on the Spectrum. Dude, I'm telling you, right? Have you seen it yet, Stacey?
I got
a
a soft place in my heart for Downsy kids.
I love them too. They're great, but it's not it's not just down kids. It's people that
I
are
think
just
it's just autism, isn't it? Or is it
no,
everybody?
there's one autistic kid is dating a girl with Down syndrome.
Oh.
It's not the chick that we're going to hell for talking about the other day. Have you
Have
seen the Down syndrome, the bikini girl?
Yeah.
There should be some laws against that stuff. Somebody's gonna get in trouble.
And she's not speaking English. What's she speaking?
I think she's French.
No, I thought she was Dominican.
Puerto Rican.
Was it?
She's blondish,
Yeah.
but she's a fucking 9.
Yeah. If she had
She didn't have that.
Pamela Anderson's face, she'd be a 10.8.
Absolutely.
Yep. But you got to hell for talking about it. We talked about it at Kid Baseball the other night. I said, an interesting topic on our podcast. And then it's people at the softball game in that little town, they know about the podcast. They talked about it too. And so we yelled, definitely Andy's going to hell for bringing that up.
I didn't bring it up.
You did too. You said, have you seen this girl that's got Down syndrome that's in Victoria's Secrets that's wearing a bikini and boom, you showed her?
That goddamn Andy's a shit star.
I don't think that's how it happened at all.
I didn't know nothing about it.
You brought it up somehow.
I didn't know a damn thing about a girl being on a a Victoria's Secret's Down syndrome girl.
Oh.
I didn't have a clue about it. You did. I don't know what you're looking for on your phone.
No, we had just talked about because we had talked about that show, Dating on the Spectrum.
Have they had any?
We just talked about it now.
Has there been
I
any?
had talked about it with some other people.
Oh.
Has there been any? You need to research that on you. Any Downsy chicks doing any porn stuff?
I think that's against the law.
Huh?
That's against the law, and that's what we were talking about.
Why can't they?
You cannot. They're not consenting adults. They cannot make a conscious decision. They can with someone. It's
Okay,
kinda
I mean, you're the
it's
judge.
kinda-
I mean,
well, I'm not a judge no more, but there's 2 underage kids have sex. They're both underage. So if you want to have underage sex with an underage kid, you should have done it before you turned 18 years old. Now your chances are done. If you're going to do that with a kid with Down syndrome, you need to have Down syndrome too, or be on the spectrum. Because this one kid that's dating this Down syndrome girl on that show, what's it called, Dating on the Spectrum?
Yep.
She's got Down syndrome, and he's just different. I'm assuming he's autistic.
RFK said by September they'll know what it is, or they'll release what it is.
I mean, this will never happen for me.
I'm embarrassed for you already.
I would give my truck if I had ever dated a chick with Tourette's.
You can still do that.
No,
Yeah.
no, not with that thing I'm married to.
She won't give you a hall pass for that if that's your dream.
I got a hall pass.
But you're not going to use it
Tell
for
everybody
Tourette.
what your hall pass is for. This is great.
Oh Lord.
I have I have a hall pass, but it has restrictions. Only for a pink-eyed, white-haired albino African midget.
That's pretty specific.
Yes, it is.
Pink-eyed, white-haired albino African midget.
Yeah.
Somebody listening to this is going to know someone that fits that deal.
If you find it, I'll catch a damn flight. I'll hit it and take pictures, and my old lady will take the pictures.
That's a hooter.
They ain't one out there.
Please don't email those to me.
Post them on the podcast page.
Yeah, just a thumbs up text will work for me. got the trophy.
I still have goals.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, let's say something happens to your wife.
Yeah.
There's a lady that's got Tourette that drives Ubers. Because I follow her on one of my social, and she's funny as shit. I mean, she's driving down the road. You son of a bitch! And then people are jump. I'm sorry, I've got Tourette's, and then she'll cuss again.
What if?
Have you ever been around anybody with Tourette's? Really?
Yeah.
I was in Vegas one time, and there was a guy in front of us, and I figured out he had Tourette's after about the first 50 yards. But it's back in Vegas. This would have been probably in the early 90s when people used to carry buckets of money. Do you remember that? Like you win money and you get a big bucket and you're carrying your bucket. And they'd be walking down the road and this sucker would just explode. Motherfucker, son of a bitch! And screaming. Fucking people would drop
I
their
played
buckets
football
and
with a
shit.
guy that had Tourette's.
And I walked behind this guy for a mile, from one end of the stretch to the other. And I'm telling you, if I'd have been thinking, I could have collected $177 in quarters between the time we started, time we finished. He'd just explode. I've never been around. That's the only person I've ever been around that had Tourette's.
1981. I'm my senior year in high school football. Our coach had to carry a letter in his pocket from a doctor saying that Leonard over there played left tackle. He's retired from FBI now.
I bet a hell of an investigation.
Had Tourette's, and he could not control what he said. So
And he was an FBI agent. That's crazy.
But he would get off his medication because most time during the week he was pretty laid back. But
So if they're medicated, they don't explode then and have these fits?
he didn't.
Okay.
Not as bad. But on Thursday he would get off. Game day Friday, this motherfucker was wired. He'd be going. 11:30 lunch started at high school there, and everybody be going down the halls. He'd be walking down the hall, and you'd hear the echo, "Cocksucker!" Bite me! Shit!
Would he do that during the count, like when the quarterback was?
Oh, Gary Shirley, get up there at quarterback. Set! Bite me! Time! Blow the whistles. And throw him out of the game. You can't throw him out of the game. I got paperwork saying you can't throw him out. Coach, he can't cuss and scream like that. He can't help it.
Right.
He's got Tourette's.
American Disabilities Act.
What the-
88, baby. He can play.
Coach, what the fuck's Tourette's? you ain't gonna shit me on this.
We forget today. Everybody knows that stuff because of the media and stuff.
In the
No.
80s, they didn't.
No.
No. I mean, I'm telling you, I followed that guy, and that's why he would holler and stuff, and boy, old ladies and old blue hairs that throw quarters and nickels and dimes everywhere, scared to death.
So that's what we're talking about. What if you got a chick with Tourette's in bed, and she's screaming that shit at you? Screaming encouragement.
Encouragement.
I don't know if it'd be encouraging.
She may be
for
being
me.
mean though.
Right. Yeah. What if it's not encouraging?
You can't be skinned.
You don't care, do you?
Got to try harder.
You're doing what you want to do.
I absolutely.
You just got to block out the noise. Play through it.
So that's a cool hall pass. I've never known anybody to have a hall pass. I know people's got a hall pass at Jennifer Aniston, shit that's not attainable. And I think it's easier to get Jennifer Aniston than it is a pink-eyed,
White-haired,
black midget.
albino
midget.
African midget.
Yep. I guess you shouldn't call him a black midget, an albino
Well, you
midget.
can't. There's numerous things you could say about African is best, but
It used to be a pixie riding a unicorn, but that was too easy to come across.
Yeah, so now you're...
so if anybody's out there and you got one, you know where one is.
Do you have a hall pass, Dusty?
No.
None?
No. My
Andy, do
wife
you
would
have
have us
one?
on the first 48.
Uh-uh.
Yeah, I don't either.
Verse 48. Is mine plotting? Because that's all she's watching on TV.
So what's her hall pass?
Huh?
What's her hall pass?
We hadn't discussed that.
I think she just knows yours is
think
never
I-
going to happen.
I
So
think
she's
Mine
good
is
with it.
if they do it, they got to take her with them, and them heathen kids too.
And the kids too.
Even though they're all grown, take them with you.
Take 'em up.
I'm starting to think grown kids are more expensive than them young ones are.
All them things. They're horrible. Kids are horrible.
They just have problems at the most inopportune moments.
Boy, that's no doubt. Grandkids are expensive, but they're expensive because we let them be expensive.
They're fun, expensive.
But sometimes not so fun. I went to Disney on Ice last week. I would do it. I'd done it, and if my other grandkids wanted to go, I would go do it. But it's not something that I would. It's not something I look forward to. Like we're going to Disney in about a month, in Universal, and I'll have some fun with that. I mean, there's some rides I will enjoy that and stuff.
What's the youngest kid y'all got going?
Jameson will be 6 going to Disney World, and he'll be fun because me and him can go do some stuff that maybe won't make me throw up.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't like the throwing up stuff. Andy, did you enjoy Disney on Ice?
No.
Okay, good. That's an honest answer.
Was it gay?
Yeah. So our kids were probably at the max age you could take them.
Jameson wasn't.
No, Jameson was okay, but yeah, they were a little old. They're probably getting. They definitely didn't need to go next year.
The best part of the whole deal is when the lady busted her ass, Moana, who was the fat skater. Would you say she was the heaviest of all of them?
I wasn't paying attention.
She was a big girl. Afraid to crack the ice even.
Have you
It's
seen,
Jameson or Reese like, yeah! He screamed, yes, finally.
Finally.
what you talking about Disney? Have you seen these documentaries where they talk about all the artists that work for Disney and all the nasty stuff they put
Oh,
in
all
it.
the
in the
what do they call that?
the DVD covers and stuff like
subliminal.
that?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yes.
like Little Mermaid had like a dick.
You remember when they used to tell us in school that they would this thing that they would flash popcorn every third frame?
It was in the movie theater. They used to do popcorn and Coke.
Yeah, to make you stimulate, and you couldn't see it, but it stimulates you. Shit, I need some popcorn. God damn, I
These
got,
people, well, hold on.
hey, baby, get me one of them Cokes.
Stacey, you know what they do? They have, how old are you, Dusty?
48.
Yeah, see, I don't think he even remembers them days, do you?
No,
Probably not.
he don't know what
It was when I was a kid and Stacy's a little older, about 5 years older than me. That's when it was, but that was exactly the right. If you went to a theater, there would be a Coke deal, but you really wouldn't see it, but it would just a minute.
a subliminal message.
And that's why popcorn is so
There you
freaking
go.
salty.
There's a dick on the Little Mermaid
Them phalluses.
Wow.
right there. Nobody ever saw it. Put it right there on the cover.
Well, hell, there's 1, 2, 3. There's Dick City,
Dick City.
Detroit, Dick City.
So, as a resident of the neighbors, Florida, have y'all been to Disney with y'all's kids much?
The last 2 times I went to Disney, it was through travel baseball.
What about you, Dusty?
Never been.
God bless you.
But if you ever go to the Wide World of Sports complex, them lakes, them ponds around it are full of bass. And you can get 15, 20 casts in, and you're going to catch 80% of your cast, you're going to catch a bass. But in a little bit, there's going to be a little cocksucker get on a golf cart, come across that damn parking lot, running your ass off.
No sense of humor about it, huh?
None. But they're loaded with bass.
It's because nobody can fish them.
Well, they probably do that because like that one guy got too close and that alligator ate him. So
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
Well, we're not going to be doing any fishing. We've got a house we rented there, and we've got all lazy river and all kinds of stuff, and we've got 3 or 4 days at Universal and 3 or 4 days. I'm looking forward to going to Hogwarts and some things like that they didn't have last time we were there. But
the lazy river's more up my alley.
I'll be glad when we get
Float
home
with a cocktail.
I can promise you. And I like vacations 100% more than Andy does. Andy hates going on vacation.
I do. I don't look forward to them.
What you need is I don't like cruises. I want a destination. Send me to Cozumel or send me to Jamaica and let me stay there.
Yeah.
I don't want to get on the boat. I don't want to stand in line for food.
Yeah.
I'm with you on all that.
That's the way I am.
My favorite vacation, me and Michelle will take in this summer. We're going to go to, I think we're staying in Bar Harbor, Maine in the summertime. And we'll go up there and we'll fly to Boston, probably, or Portland, rent a car, and we'll be gone for 5 days, and we'll just go wherever we go. If we get up at 8 o'clock in the morning, or we get up at 5 in the morning, or we leave at 10 in the morning, it don't matter. We have no time. I enjoy that. And I like driving the back roads, and I like seeing things. I like talking to people. I don't care about being at no big resort. Our last place we went in Mexico this February, that was my favorite resort I think we've been to ever. And it was the Ziva in Puerto Vallarta, and it was nice. The food was good.
Did y'all ever leave?
Yeah, we went
one day.
We went to one town one day. We didn't have to.
Did you feel safe?
I never felt unsafe at all.
Puerto Vallarta is the gay capital of Mexico.
Okay.
So I felt very safe.
You didn't feel like they were attracted to you?
Huh?
You didn't feel like you was getting off the vibe, you know?
I hope they were. That's why I lift all those weights.
I'm probably safe on that.
Hey,
Who wants to be thought of as ugly?
Let me tell
Exactly.
you. Let me tell you about that. Andy's not kidding about the
If I
gay
walk
capital.
if I walk into a gay bar,
I want them to be like, hey, look at that guy.
look at that motherfucker.
Yeah.
I would hit that.
You don't want them to be like, ugh.
Absolutely.
No, you don't feel
Tony was
attractive.
Tony was elk hunting in Colorado, so this would have been 30 years ago. And I have a Ralph Lauren wet leather jacket. It's like a barn jacket. And Tony borrowed it before they went, and he was wearing it. And I could wear an extra large then, so I guess Tony could wear an extra large then. And this gay guy come up to him at this little bar, like one of them little towns, Creed, Colorado. Come, that's a beautiful jacket, and started petting it. Like, that's my brother's coat. That's what he told him. It's my brother's coat. Puerto Vallarta was a lot of gay. They had a gay. It didn't say gay. It was for men's only hair removal, bikini waxing salon there.
I was kind of worried about the cartels.
no.
Didn't have any.
I've heard the
Not
cartels kind of run everything anyway.
I'm sure
they don't want no.
upset.
They
They
don't
really
want
don't
bad
want the
because they got to
bad
wash their
publicity.
money.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go to Cancun. You could not pay me to go to Cancun and go down like where all the hotels are and the hotel zone and by all them like the Hard Rock and all that stuff.
Yeah.
There's no way in hell that I would go do that. When we go to Isla Mujeres, I always have felt safe there. Have you felt safe there too?
Yeah.
I felt safe there, and I felt safe in Puerto Vallarta for some reason. I didn't feel bad at all, but boy, I do not like Cancun. I'm nervous from the time we land on the plane till we get on the boat to go to Isla. Once we get on that boat, I feel safe. But just certain areas, just Mexico, I mean, you can't call for help. And the person
No,
you're
and they're on
telling
the
you need
take.
help for is probably on the take also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody's just going to roll you.
Which one is it? Cozumel, where you go to, and it's got all the stores and
Every place is that way. Every town looks the same.
okay.
They still the same
Shit, I don't know which one it was. I know I went the one cruise that we went on. I got sick.
Was it an island that you landed in Mexico? It's probably Cozumel.
Yeah.
They have
Cozumel. We went scuba diving out there and looked at the tarpon and stuff like that. And I got out and I was coughing like hell. And what had happened on March 25th, that was opening day of turkey season in Alabama, I had pulled a little tick off my waist, little bitty dot of a tick. It took it 10 days to gestate, and I had ehrlichiosis.
What is that? Sounds like a lesbian disease.
It's a disease.
Is that like Lyme's?
No, it's not like Lyme's, but it comes from Vietnam.
Oh.
And it got in the United States on those ass-eating dogs that the Army had over there. And when they come back to Arkansas, that's where it spread from. But I caught it in Alabama. But, man, I coughed, and it put like a coating over my lungs. I couldn't get, just breathe like hell and not getting any oxygen.
How long did you have that for?
It lasted, let's see, 2 weeks solid, and then it took me for the rest of turkey season to just recover. I would have to walk a few steps, and I would be sweating profusely.
Just antibiotics get it cleared up?
Yeah.
Did you notice it when you were underwater scuba diving?
I noticed it when I got out of the water, and we went to a little bar to get a beer and a sandwich, and I started coughing. And I couldn't quit coughing. So ignorant me, I texted a buddy of mine, a scuba diver. I said, hey, I went scuba diving today, and I said, I think I got some dirty air. He said, man, there ain't no such thing as fucking dirty air.
And I got the bins.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Got the bins in.
He said, you ain't got no dirty air. And I said, well, by God, I wasn't coughing. I go scuba diving, I get out, and I couldn't quit coughing. And that night I run down fever, and it was terrible.
So when did you decide, how'd you find out you had that? Did blood work when you got home?
Got home, and my wife took me to UAB, and they took me in that disease part of it, and they drew blood. In a few minutes, she come in there, and she says, you got ehrlichiosis. And I hallucinated.
Wow.
My wife
That's where he come up with the midget guy.
It's kind of close. So we go to the doctor when we get back. I got a buddy man I was mountain biking with. He was a doctor. He was my doctor. And so Webb come. He said, so Deandra says you're having some hallucinations. You've been sick. Webb, it ain't really that bad. God damn, what was that? A little man about this tall with it looked like buckwheat.
Little troll dog.
That little motherfucker run across that goddamn examination room and jumped in that garbage can. I said, did y'all see that? He says, see what? I said, that little, can't really tell, little African run across the room here and jumped that goddamn garbage can. He looked at my wife. He says, yeah, you need to carry him to UAB.
So nobody even looked in the trash can to see if he was there, huh?
Yeah, sons of bitches.
Wasn't even.
Not even going to entertain
They
it.
didn't even entertain it.
Didn't even entertain it.
And, I mean, to this day, I can see that little bastard come out of there and run across it.
I'd have played it off. I was like, oh, God. There he is.
Not again.
It was like, I'm telling you, little
We've been
bastard,
trying to catch him.
little bastard was this high. It was like a little kid,
Yeah.
little black kid with big old puffy hair, big fro. And he run across that damn floor right there. Goddamn, Justin.
There he is. They should have
So-
played it off like that. Fuck, we've
So
been trying for months.
Is that a sign of this lichitosis or whatever you have?
Ehrlichiosis.
Hallucination?
Yeah, you hallucinate. And,
It's a hell of a hallucination. I'm
a
telling you right now.
lack of oxygen getting to your brain and stuff like that.
How quick did it clear up? Pretty fast when you got on it?
No, it took weeks and weeks and weeks. I don't want it again.
Did y'all see a guy won a free cruise, got the flu when he was on the cruise, went to the medical, whatever. They charged him $47,000.
For what?
Medical bills.
What the hell they do? For the flu?
Yeah.
What they do to him?
I don't know. Maxed out all of it. Maxed out his credit card. $47,000.
Well, I'm trying to figure out what the hell they give you for the flu that costs $47,000
Shot
freaking
holes in
dollars.
the boat.
Yeah, no shit.
Okay, I ain't sailing with y'all no more.
Yeah.
47 G's in medical bills.
I want to know what the hell he had done to him. I don't know. I tell you what I'd do. I'd cancel my fucking credit card.
Yeah. I don't know. But he won the fucking cruise, too. That's the bad part. He was all excited, got a free cruise.
Where the hell's Brom at? Or Braden?
That was the scam.
Right.
Yeah.
That was the
Oh,
scam.
okay. The cruise line charged him, maxed out both of his credit cards. He still owes him $21,000. I'd be like, well, call a creditor.
Yeah.
The same people that from the toll roads in Oklahoma that call me all the time, I laugh at and hang up on, paying them some bitches. You want to collect my money on toll road? You get some man in the booth to give it from me.
I got one texting me all the time about a red light or something. Fuck off.
That's what I say to him.
Well, now there's a scam that's going around, and it's saying it's North Texas Tollway Association.
Yes, I saw that.
And even like the Paxton is saying do not pay them because you're getting these text messages and it's all a scam. It doesn't even go to the toll authority.
Right.
Michelle got that, and she was all befuddled. She goes, "Way to go!" She goes, "You got me a ticket, and these people are calling me." I go, "What are you talking about?" She goes, "These tolls, because you go through them all the time. You take the express lane, and you ain't paying them." I said, "I'm not gonna pay them some bitches." I said, "They want the money, they can collect it like the old fashioned days. I'm not paying them." I said, "It doesn't affect my credit score, nothing, anyways. I'm not paying them." And she goes, "I don't understand how my vehicle's in your name, but they're calling me." I go, "Huh?" And then she told me, she goes, "I bet it's a scam." I said, "Oh, you're 100% it's a scam, because it's not. It's in my name, so they wouldn't be calling you, Michelle." But that's how they do shit. But these people pay for them. I can't say nothing. My mom paid $8,000 to IRS on a Target card one time. Yes. My mom got a letter or a call from a guy when my stepdad was dying in the hospital that they owed $8,000 in taxes that they didn't even owe. Instead of calling me or Tony and asking us about this, they wanted to get paid by her going and putting two $4,000 Target gift cards. So she goes to Target and she buys $8,000 in gift cards, and she gives them to the people. Then they want her to go get another $4,000 that would cover the interest on what she owed for them. So she's doing it again, and the lady working at the checker goes, "Ma'am," she goes, "I'm not getting in your business," but she goes, "I don't know what you're buying these for," but she goes, "There's a scam going with the IRS." So my mom finds out that she's being scammed. So then she calls me and tells me, I go, "Don't pay that bill." I said, "Argue it with Target and with your credit card company, but don't pay that bill." "Well, they're going to put me in jail." I said, "No, they're not either, Mom. They're not going to."
Can't put you in jail for wreck your credit. But
I go, what are you thinking? No, you're 5 years old. You're not buying nothing new anyways. And you've got impeccable credit. So it's not going to make much of a difference. But I said, you need to dispute that. The credit card company should be kind of protecting on some kind of deal. She goes, "Jeff, I don't want you to think I'm gullible. You just paid $8,000 to the IRS on fucking Target card, but you're not gullible? Give me a break."
you didn't want to think she was either, but
Yeah. Gullible's not the word I thought of when I thought, "Are you stupid? What the hell are you thinking, Mom?"
And that's why they prey on that generation.
Yes, but
because they're all about paying their bills.
Yeah.
So listen. This is what's interesting. Not interesting. My stepfather passes away. So the credit card company calls her, because I told her, I said, "Just pay the minimum amount. Don't use it." I said, "You have another card?" She goes, "Well, yeah, we've got a debit card and we've got another card." "Don't use that card anymore. Dispute it. And just pay the minimum due each month. Whatever it is, just pay it, and then you're going to dispute that." Well, my stepdad died. So they called my mom about it. And she said, "My son said to pay the minimum amount." She goes, my husband just passed away." "Well, ma'am, this card's in his name, not in your name." She goes, "Yes, ma'am, it is." She goes, "We have a joint card that's the card I'm using now, but that was just, his card was in his name." "Oh, well, he passed away. You don't have to pay any of that anyway." So that was the end of the whole deal. So it was all just written. I mean, that was the end of the thing. But I couldn't believe that. I could not believe my mom bought two $4,000 freaking gift cards and was going to buy a third one too.
And then told me contact somebody to say, "Hey,
yeah,
you think this is a good
It's a little
idea?"
weird.
Or
And then
When the IRS start taking Target gift cards.
And then, "But Jeff, I don't want you to think I'm gullible." Huh? Mom, you just paid the deal. I had a lady in town when I was judge still called me one day. And she goes, "Can you talk for a minute?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, "I need some legal advice." I was like, "Listen, I'm not your attorney, so will you just tell me what you need? I'll try to help you if I can. I'll be honest with you, and I can probably lead you in the right direction." She's like, "I got the IRS that says they owe me some money and they're fixing to come put me in jail." I go, "What?" She goes, "Yeah." I said, "Well, how much do you owe them?" She goes, "Well, they say I owe them $2,700 or something, whatever it was." I said, "Well, do you owe them that money?" She goes, "I don't think so." I said, "Well, what are they doing?" So she tells me this. She goes, "Well, they said y'all are going to come put me in jail, and I just want to have you wrote a warrant for me." I go, "We don't come put you in jail for the IRS." I go, "Someone's trying to scam you." She goes, "Are you sure?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Don't send them a freaking dime." She goes, "Well, I've got the money. I don't need to." I said, "No, do not wire no money to them." I said, "Don't do nothing." I said, "Contact the IRS office in Abilene or Wichita Falls and get an appointment to go see them if you think you owe them some money." I said, "Do not send them a freaking Western Union deal, because you're never going to see that money again. And that's what it's a scam." And luckily she didn't do it, and it was a scam. But if she wouldn't have called me, she was fixing to go down to wire Western Union $2,700 to some freaking Habib to go pick up at some, at the damn gas station somewhere to another Western Union, because that's how they do people all the time. Mm-hmm. And this I've heard that North Texas tolls, but people buy on that. Can you imagine how many millions of people live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area that are like, shit, did I drive on the toll one
And
day
they're
in
probably
there?
just dinging them for $15 each time.
Yep. And
$12.
well, no, that owe $100 or $200 that really don't even owe that because,
Right.
but they think, well, maybe shit, I drove on the toll one day, and so you probably drive the Metroplex a lot, right? Or you're far enough away, but you go through. Do you have a toll tag?
No.
See, I don't either. And when we used to go to Dallas a lot more, I probably would have got one. I got a buddy of mine that has one that lives here, and his card gets charged $50 every time it gets down to a $5 balance. They hit it for another $50. But I don't. But that's a big. I mean, they got you by the balls, and people don't know it. But you got to figure if they're scamming 100,000 people and they only get 500 of them to send them $100, that's pretty good living once a month.
Yeah.
Yeah. I should get into that.
You'd get caught,
Oh, hell yeah, I would.
and
First day.
they'd make an example of you.
Throw enough of them against the wall, some of them stick.
What do y'all think about the kid from Tennessee, the football player? Have you read about that? The quarterback for Tennessee signed a NIL deal with the University of Tennessee, 3 years, $8 million. This year was going to be his third year, and he was fixing to get $2.3 million. Well, he came to him this last week. He's been trying to get, he wants $4.2 million now. Well, they told him to go take a hike. They weren't going to pay it to him. He's been going around to other places because there's a week right now where you can enter the transfer portal and change to another school, but he cannot go to another SEC school. That takes them out of the loop because it's some kind of SEC written rules on the transfer portal. I think it's a bunch of shit, and I think this is going to be the straw that broke the camel's back on the NIL. But I don't know what the answer is.
I mean, even the pros are talking about how the NIL is bad.
This kid wants $4.2 million. Oregon's coach is the one that called Josh Heupel and told him what was going on, and they cut him off the team. They don't want him. But a $4.2 million is more money than Brock Purdy's made his entire career in the NFL so far. And that's what kid wants for 1 year. And I don't think they went to the playoffs, but I don't think he had a really stellar season. I think he was pretty solid, but nothing.
Look at Angel Reese. Angel Reese made more money playing basketball at LSU than she does playing women's pro basketball.
Yeah. And Caitlin Clark, too.
Yeah.
She took a $3 million a year pay cut
Yeah, to go pro.
to go pro.
Sure
That's
enough.
why the kid at Texas this last year, Quinn Ewers, he could have went one more year and went to Ohio State, Oregon, or some other school was going to offer him big money. And I'd read that it was like $8 million for one season, but he's going to be a third-round draft pick probably. He's stupid. He should have went and got that $8 million, played football again, been a third-round pickup again, or maybe move up a little bit.
Be a holder.
Yeah, but he ain't going to get that kind of money.
Did y'all see? I don't know who Quaydarius Davis is, but he was supposed to be drafted, and this video came out. Not what you want to have 10 days before the draft.
No.
There's been 3 of those. The kid from Texas that was a wide receiver, that Golden kid. I think it was Bolden or Golden. I can't remember which one of the kid that got in trouble for domestic violence. He was going to be a first-round draft pick. The kid that ran the 4.2940 or whatever it was. Well, he's going to be a 6th-round pick now. He turned himself into the Frisco PD yesterday. Then the kid from LSU committed suicide yesterday. That Lacey kid that was their wide receiver, he had that accident and killed somebody. They filed homicide charges on him, negligent homicide in a vehicle or vehicular manslaughter. Well,
I don't know how you're going to walk this one back.
no, he's not. He won't get drafted.
You don't think so?
No, domestic violence, no.
Oh, yeah. Dallas will get him just sure as.
Yeah. You can beat a dog, a cat, or a woman, and you'll go to prison the rest of your life. You can drive a car going 110 and kill somebody. And I saw where that guy's going to be up for parole next year and probably be back in the NFL.
You know who? There's podcasts out there, and who makes more sense. I hate to say this about pro players, guys coming out of college stuff. Cam Newton.
Yeah.
Cam Newton's sharp.
Yeah, he is.
Well, he don't dress like
He looks like a clown.
Yeah. It's a good thing he don't got pink eyes. So you're telling me that Cam Newton has been on there. Is he against NIL?
Yes.
I used to really be against NIL. I think they ought to have a cap on all schools. I saw one deal that said they were going to limit them to $20 million. And if there's 80 kids on scholarship, that means each kid would get $250,000. That's what you want to give your $20 million as a university and give every kid an equal amount. I don't have a problem with that. I really don't. They're making enough money. But I have a problem with if they say you can only limit it to $250,000. But if a booster wants them to come do for them work on the side, then they can, because then you're in the same boat we're in now. Yeah. But there's no reason that a 20-year-old kid needs $5-10 million to play quarterback at a university.
No. I know you've seen this. Where Cam Newton's talking about Shedeur Sanders. And he brings up the question, Would Shador be a 4-year starter at any other college in the United States if his daddy wasn't head coach?
I think he would have been his
Valid
last 2
question.
years.
But a 4-year
What
start?
school, though?
Right, that's what he's saying.
Well, he played at Jackson State.
For
Oh.
2 years.
That if you're a legit NFL prospect, and I'm not saying Jackson State because didn't Walter Payton go to Jackson State? Mm-hmm. There's been some great players play Division II football. I'm not knocking that, but your overall competition you're playing against is not like we're playing at Alabama. So I don't know. Tony had the best point at all about Shador Sanders last year. They played Brigham Young in the Big 12 title game or whatever it was, and they had him scored a point at halftime. He goes, here's a kid that's the number 1 rated wide receiver and the number 1 quarterback, and they can't even score against BYU. And you're thinking he's going to be the first player taken in the draft? It made a lot of sense.
Negative.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Shador Sanders has got some things going for him. He throws the ball real well. He's a pocket quarterback, and he's mobile. So someone's going to take him. I don't know if he's ever going to be an NFL quarterback.
That's another guy that's making more money in college than he'll ever make in pro.
Who?
Shador.
Well, it depends where he gets drafted. If he gets drafted in the top 5, he'll make as much money as he did in college, but not it. You know, you got to hit that big contract the second time is where you make your money.
Yeah, the rookie contract's not where it's at.
No. No, just like Brock Purdy.
Yeah, he's made less than $5 million in his whole career, and he's going to be getting what $55 million a year probably is what he's going to sign for. Well, that's some serious change. Let's talk hunting. You guys, Arkansas outfitters. What do y'all think? It passed the Senate. We talked about this at dinner a little bit. In Oklahoma, passed. I think the Senate or the House in Oklahoma passed their guide license. It's got to go before the next one, but they say it's 100% it's going to pass. Where it's $2,000 for an outfitter to have a guide for each guide out of state to have a license there. I think that's absolutely ridiculous. I think there needs to be some kind of accountability, but I think that you're pricing it out where you're pricing the poor guy out and you're just helping the wealthier outfitters.
And didn't you say it's also affecting your kitchen help and whatever they all?
Supposedly, everybody that works at a place has got to have some license. But I have not heard that for sure, so I don't know that for sure. But I do know for sure that if a guide is out of state, it's going to be $2,000 per guide. Scout, guide, everyone involved. Gosh, and that's to me is we're giving Doge. If Doge has done anything, it shows us we're giving government money that they're not accountable for.
Right.
You know, they shouldn't be spending our money. They don't take care of it.
The first thing is I don't think it'll change anything.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of guys that are going to be running that are mom and pop, the guys that are meeting at gas stations and stuff, because if you get caught, they can fine you 10 times what the license. So it could be a $20,000 fine.
Yeah,
But honestly, in this game, $2,000 just really is not that much money. I mean, it sounds like a lot. You know what I mean? When you go from a hunting license is $70-$80, or an out-of-state hunting license $200 or $300, you know. But I mean, Arkansas, it's for an out-of-state, it's $500 for a guide, and it doesn't slow the people down one bit that just come down for 2 to 3 weeks to run snow goose hunts.
You have to have a license to guide in Arkansas.
Yes.
Yeah.
$500. See, I don't have a problem with $500.
$550,
$550
and then you get your hunting license. You know, your small game. Or
Right.
if you're going,
Yeah, you got to have all that, and then
you're looking at $650 to be a guide.
and now you're required to have insurance now, which is fine. I mean, we always had
We
The
should.
insurance
outfitter
anyways.
or the guide has to have a license.
No, the outfitter.
Okay, right. Which we do that all the time. We don't have to have a license, but I got 10 to 12 guys sitting around here. Well, I'd have to write a check for $24,000 just to be in business, and I think that's bullshit. 100%. And in Texas, you don't even have to have a hunting license to guide a hunt.
Really?
No.
I had no idea.
I had no.
In
long as
Oklahoma,
you're-
you do.
In Oklahoma, you do. But I mean, as long as you're not shooting, you don't have to have a license.
See, I always interpreted the law that if you're participating in the hunt whatsoever, if you're blowing a call,
Right.
you're participating in the hunt, you had to have a hunting license, even
wait.
if you didn't carry a gun.
That's the way it reads in Oklahoma.
So I always just assumed. I mean, and the reason I did that is because I had gone to Tennessee turkey hunting with some people, and I was like, I'll just go video. You know what I mean? I've seen enough turkeys die that, yeah, I mean, it wasn't that big a deal to me. Honestly, it was years ago and didn't really have, I mean, it's not like I got a bunch of money now, but I sure didn't have any money then.
Right.
So I didn't want to go spend $300-$400 to go turkey hunting when I could get just as much fun out of calling one in or helping someone.
Right.
But it turned out I had to have a hunting license anyways. Even so, it was funny. I found a game warden at a gas station on the way there, and I was like, "Hey, I need to ask you a question, like a legitimate, because I do not want to do something wrong." And so I asked him the question. He said, "Look, if all you're doing is holding the camera, that's fine." He said, "But if you blow one call, you pick the bird up, help carry it out. If you hold a decoy, then that's participating in the hunt."
See, I think you're just splitting hairs there, but I see where they're coming from. I think Oklahoma is getting a standard here that the big outfitters are this is gonna be beneficial to them, and they're gonna cut out the guy that's meeting at the gas station that's taking 3 or 4 people. But maybe that's the guy they do need to kind of weed out because he's not participating by having liability insurance. He's not accountable.
And is he really adding to the local economy?
And
yeah, I don't.
He is, and a lot of times he has got 2 fields, 1 or 2 fields, and he's hunting them every day, and he is scamming you.
Yeah, you're not getting a fair deal.
That's right.
On what you're going to get down the road.
How many guys call you, Mr. Stanfield? Can I lease a field from you?
Andy, tell them how many of them get on our stuff.
Can I lease a pit?
None.
And I've told him, I said, son, let me tell you something. If I got a field that's got birds, why am I going to lease it to you for $600, $800, $1,000 when I can guide a trip over and make $2,500, $3,000
Right.
for that same day?
It doesn't make good financial sense, and
You're going to get gar-holed.
And so, I mean, to me, we had to sleep at night knowing that we were taking people's money, knowing we weren't sending them in the best spot. And so we attempted to do it years ago, but it was, we did like 3 days that we leased out fields. I mean, I just couldn't sleep at night because I was worried I wasn't giving someone.
That shit's a myth. That shit happened 25 years ago.
Well, it's over. In 30 years, I can count on one hand how many times I've let someone other than one of my buddies that's an outfitter, Justin, and me trade places a lot. We help each other a lot. But other than that, I can count on one hand how many times I've let someone hunt on my fields.
Right.
One time, and on one hand, because I just don't do it unless it's the last day of season and I've got 4 fields we're not using. I just don't do it. And I don't want the liability risk either. And that's another thing to do with it because I keep insurance and we do everything right. But this past year in Oklahoma, they had all these guys got busted for baiting fields and these ponds, all this pond baiting and shit. And I've attributed that personally, I think a lot of it was these old boys had deer leases and they had ponds and they started taking people's money duck hunting a couple of trips. And then they started hunting. Well, we can hunt every day. We got 5 ponds. We can hunt once a day and we can rotate ponds. And then this year, guess what? There was no ducks till January something. So they were screwed. So that's why they did all the baiting. That's why I think there was more baiting cases
I
this
heard
year.
that part, and it made a lot of sense.
And that's the only reason I can think of.
Because they're missing a lot of money.
Yes, and the guy that's well here he is. He's let's say he's a welder. I'm just using this example. He's a welding, and he's off work for 3 months, and he hunts. Well, he's offsetting his income, and he's charging these guys $250 a day or something. Not a lot to hunt.
Right.
And he's got a group of 4 to 5 guys. So he's making $1,000 to $1,500 a day on his deer lease. And he's hunting 5-6 days a week. Well, shit, he's making $10,000, $15,000 a week guiding hunts. And he's thinking, whoo, shit, that's pretty good money on the side for this deer lease I'm paying $3,000 for. But then all of a sudden, when we ain't got no ducks and these people are wanting their money back or their deposit sent back, he ain't got no money to give them. And he's put himself in a hole. But I think the 2,000 is too much. Another thing that I was told Oklahoma's wanting to do, and I heard this is the next thing they're going to vote on, is to do away with all out-of-state hunters on public land. 0. No out-of-state hunters on public land. That is going to affect the little small towns, restaurants, motels, hotels, more than anything in the world.
Yep.
Now, the people that live in Oklahoma that pay taxes on local impoundments that the city owns, I understand the frustration. And that would piss me off, too, if you can't even go hunt on something in your own neighborhood.
That's right. And you get on, like in Arkansas where we're at, and you'll get on Facebook and they hate oozers. You're fucking up our hunting. I've hunted this with my daddy. My daddy hunted this. Da 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 da. But when we go we got 1, 2, 3, 4 side by sides, Argo. We got trailers. We got trucks that tear up. We got shit tearing up 3 times a week. So we keep the mechanic has always got a couple pieces of our equipment over there. A truck, whatever, a boat motor. The grocery store, we spend $1,500 a day on groceries at least. Ribeyes 2 nights a week.
Yeah.
And this lady, she told us this year, with a little town called Clarendon over in Arkansas. She said, if it wasn't for guys like y'all, she said, we would shut the doors. We make our living during duck season, during waterfowl season. That's where we make our living. And you get on the damn internet and you talk about the oozers taking, they're messing up your duck hunting. Your motor's too loud. You don't have any manners and stuff like that. We don't hunt public land. We can't.
No, you're hunting all private, just like we
We're
do.
hunting private. We're paying out the ass. We're spending over $250,000 a year on leases. But damn it, we're making your economy work because Arkansas is poor. Mississippi's poor.
Well, there's nothing. I mean, what if you're not a farmer? What industry is there?
You work for the farmer.
Right. If you go to just western Oklahoma, it's a Jed, Oklahoma. I'm just going to use the example. Never ever hunted there.
Been there.
But you go to Jed, Oklahoma, which has got a refuge up there, and the salt plains and all that stuff's up there. That little town right there, during the off season, this time of year, there's nothing going on there. They need the money from the hunters, the hotels. Who's going to Jed, Oklahoma to stay at a hotel? I don't even know if Jed, Oklahoma has a hotel, but let's say they do.
They got a little
because I slept in a horse trailer last time I went.
Yeah,
But
they make their money. They have to bank. They have to bank that down money from October to end of goose season or what duck season, whatever. And snow goose, and live off that all damn year long.
That's their bread and butter. That's exactly right, and that's what. But the big people in Oklahoma City at state capitol, they don't think about that. All they got is these lobbyists in their ears that hunt on ducks with some big outfitters, and they're like, whoa, we need to get rid of these little guys. We can push them out the side, and that's the way we'll do it. We'll stick this licensing fee on them, and they can't afford it.
But I'm wondering what the license fee is for, anyways. I mean, what are we trying to accomplish by even having it to start with?
It should be to make sure people are accountable. That's what the license should be. It shouldn't be so expensive. It should be regulated. And if you get a bunch of game violations, you should lose your license.
Absolutely.
And I've got no problem with that.
If you're a damn outlaw outfit, your ass
Yes.
needs to be put out of business.
Yep. And it's also there to make sure you have liability insurance in case something happens. That part, I have no problem with any of that. I have a problem writing the state a big check. It's kind of like we're going to let the big rich people play, but everybody else is on their own. Hunting and if you go in Europe, only the royal family can hunt and wealthy people, and that's what they're trying to push it to do. And then you've got all this going on, and now they're trying to don't want out of state hunters, which I don't think is a good idea. Then I get a text from a guy in Alberta I'm friends with. That's an outfitter up there. Got a text the other day, said, "Yes, you can snow goose hunt on my land. Do you have any Americans?" No, they're all from Saskatchewan that's coming down with me. Okay. I don't want any Americans on my land this year. And that means this fall also. And I've talked to other farmers up here, and we don't want any Americans on our property. What's going on up here? Would you be nervous if you were a Canadian outfitter right now?
I wouldn't be able to shit for a week.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, those guys, we had talked about taking our party to Canada. I'm so glad we didn't.
What about you, Andy? Would you be nervous if he's a Canadian outfitter?
Yeah. I was nervous all the time anyway.
But I'm talking about right now, if you owned a place up there and was relying on Americans.
You're going to lose your ass. If you're an American and you got some damn property up there and you're depending on a hunting season, and them Canadians, they say all they want to. By God, America, United States hunters, what makes their economy.
Oh, I agree 100%.
And fishermen.
But I don't think the Canadian. I was surprised by this farmer saying that. I really was, and I'm sure there's some there. I mean, but that surprised me. I'm not surprised if the Canadian government shut it down because they don't take any kind of.
But
they don't respect outdoorsmen, hunters, and fishermen anyway. So they don't that little piece of the pie that we think's a ton of money. When you look at all of Canadians' GDP, that's not mentioned. I'll tell you my opinion on that is that. So many guys from America that own hunting operations in Canada don't bank in Canada. Most all money transactions are all over here in the United States. You pay your deposit to them in the United States. You pay before you get up there. 30 days before your hunt or 60 days, you pay, and they get paid in America. So it's not like that they're losing $2 or $3 million from an outfit that's in Canada because they're not seeing much of that money.
Right.
And I may be speaking out of turn because there might be some of them that have, but everybody I know that's an American that hunts in Canada, almost all their financial transactions are done in the U.S. dollar before they ever go up there.
Well, and we were talking at dinner, you're not supposed to be able to pay the farmer. So it's not, I mean, he doesn't have anything. I mean, all it takes is just a bad taste in his mouth and just say, nope, no Americans.
Yep.
Period.
And that's
Across
what I
the
used to
board.
bitch about people that tear people's shit up there. They're letting you come on their land. Don't rut it up and tear it up. Be respectful. Same as in North Dakota.
Yeah.
You know, just because it's not got a purple post on it, don't tear their stuff up because then they're going to be a purple post. They don't want you on there.
Right.
Yeah, boy, that's changed.
Be respectful. Yeah, we went to
Look on there and see what waterfowl industry brings to the state of Arkansas.
Okay.
How many billions that is?
Well,
It's in B's, not
What
M's.
would your guess be?
13.
Oh God, that's a lot of money. I don't know.
I had been told that just Arkansas County, where Stuttgart is, that just in tax revenue during duck season, their sales tax brings in over $1 million a day net. That's just that one county.
But that's by far the biggest county there is, right on it.
Well, it's a hot spot. You
Right.
You got Shin Store, you got Max Prairie Wings,
Right.
you got R&T.
It's unlike any place else in the United States. There's no place in the United States like Stuttgart area is during duck season because it's miles and miles and miles of that.
Yeah.
according to this, it says 4 million a day,
And the season's how long?
72 days.
So $280 million.
306 is
$306 million
is
annually.
what AI says.
Anyway, that's a
that's
lot
a
of
lick.
freaking money. That's a lot of money.
And I bet that's way, way low.
But what are they taxing? That's taxable money.
Right.
That's not saying this stuff. So probably 500 million is probably safe.
And they're,
But out of the 300 million, they're probably getting taxed at about 5% on that. So the state of Arkansas is making about $15 million annually, not counting license fees and all the other shit off of the waterfowl hunting.
Right.
and let's just say that theoretically, we give a farmer $35,000 cash money.
Well, he ain't putting that on his books. We all know
Exactly. We're say we're giving $35,000 for so many acres of land. That's untaxed,
Right.
but it's still a boost to the economy.
Well, every dollar in the United States, every dollar that's spent in economy, they say flips down 7 times locally. So they're spending their money. The country needs, those places need the hunting deal. I think Oklahoma is screwing up if they do this public hunting deal.
I know 3 damn kids that because of us leasing, that we've put through college.
Yeah.
Of farmers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I know 3 kids that we have put through college.
I saw where Kansas, the governor, because they were going to do I think if you were an out-of-stater, you couldn't hunt more than 3 days. Kansas governor said
They
no.
vetoed that, right?
Yeah, they vetoed-
And that was
she
just
vetoed
Monday,
it.
Tuesday, and Wednesdays, I think is what he was
think
trying
so.
to do.
They said it would kill the rural economy.
It would. And he's doing the right thing. But I understand why the people who live in the rural, I've got a friend of mine that's rural in Kansas, and he hates it. He says the same thing. He goes, God Almighty, he goes, I can't get on my place. I can't even fit where I fish at. I can't hunt at because there's too many damn people here. And I don't know what the answer is. I don't know.
That's the one you was talking about.
Yes.
He can't even get out of his driveway.
Can't
to
get a
go-
driveway because go to the boat ramp because it's all filled with out of state people. And they say northeast Oklahoma, those lakes are just, elbows and assholes. Of
Believe
people.
it or not, it happens in Alabama. I'm from North Alabama, and Gunnersville Lake up there. And it's just
Is it the Carolina people? Because that's what everybody bitches about in northeast Oklahoma.
Georgia, Tennessee, Illinois. They come from everywhere. You can go to the damn parking lot during duck season. Now, when you and I were teenagers, Gunnersville Lake was a mecca for mallard ducks. It really was. It was a secret. Now, the mallard ducks you see there are probably pets. Now it's divers. But I mean, they're lined up. There'll be 50 little launch somewhere, little half acre, quarter acre place, have 50, 60 trucks parked there.
Wow.
And they're fighting and pissing and moaning.
And it's the same with bass lakes. A lot of times you'll see like Lake Fork. It's always funny. You shouldn't be guiding. That's bull. I had a guy at game warden tell me that one time. You shouldn't be able to guide hunts on public water. Well, what about guided fishing trips?
Yeah.
Same deal.
Same thing.
Well, I never thought of it that way. Well, same shit. They're using the public resources to make a living.
Yeah.
That duck's coming and going. Those fish stay here. It's not like them fish are picking up and going to Canada for 3 months and coming back.
Speaking of them sons of bitches.
Game wardens?
Yeah.
I like mine.
I like a lot of them, but when you ask them questions, They want to be very vague, like
Right.
Your fucking partner lives in the hood now. Has people getting shot in his neighborhood?
They want to be vague, and they don't want to tell you. You know, try to ask a black and white question. What's the answer to this right here? They won't tell you because I don't think they really know. I don't think they really know.
Well, he
Just
got
like
up in a hurry.
you remember when all this yellow tag, when we had started to have tagging our ducks and stuff like that. Yeah. And then we would ask game warden, "What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, act like they didn't know what they.
What are you
What they
talking?"
wanted to do.
Yeah.
What they wanted.
Ryan Warden comes out with it. Hell, he knows more than the damn game wardens do around us.
We just always ask whoever it is, because we've had several over the course of 30 years. How do you want it done? How do you want it done on a
Right.
day-to-day basis? What are you comfortable with? Whatever he says, what we do.
So I'll tell you what we do. If you we tell our guides, and it's an assholish thing we do. If you do this regular, and you keep coming out of the field without tags on your birds, and I'm not talking about getting to the lodge, I'm talking coming out of the field without your birds tag, we're gonna fire your ass.
Right.
Because I got 10 more guys on my phone right now wanting your job.
Yeah.
I mean,
So-
it's got to be done, And so what we do is they
If
got to
it's-
be tagged, and then once they get there and we get the birds clean, processed and all that stuff, we got the book like everybody does that keeps a secondary record of what species and all that stuff, and all that. And I mean, I know it's a pain. It really is because not only do you got to get all of that filled out, but then you've got to go find your customers that there's no telling if they're drunk, asleep, taking a shower, make them sign the book as well. Mm-hmm. But it's got to be done. There's no getting around it.
And there you got 2 guides in the field, and you got a group of hunters, and one guide is starting to pick up. You got another guy he's not helping pick up, clean up, break the blind down. Because he's got to sit there and fill out the damn tags with everybody and babysit.
Yeah.
And try to get his pins back so he don't get fired the next day. 'Cause,
So I got an ink pen to fill it out the next day.
Yeah. Fucking pins. They just grow legs, don't they?
oh man,
I don't know how many we buy in a year, but
God.
most of the time, a lot of times we'll just have the guys bring the birds back in their trucks because this is your bird. So bring it back to here. We've got resource documents out there, and then
Well, that is like if the hunter.
yep,
But how many times you out there and you see somebody just take ass off to their damn truck? They've left their birds there with you.
yeah,
Hey,
Right.
hey, come get this.
yeah.
The
good thing about out here is most of the time they have to do lunch. So we have those wildlife resource documents. So when they come in for lunch, we've got everything, numbers and all that other good stuff. They take that, they fill it out. It's got a carbon copy. White stays with us. Carbon copy goes with them, and then they're out the door. And then most of the time on the second day, everybody's in such a jerk hurry to get out of here. You just hound them a little bit, like, "Hey, get this done. You're not leaving here
Yeah.
until this is done."
This has got to be done. It's
gotta be done.
Before we leave this field.
And your birds aren't going to get cleaned until your paperwork's done. So if you're in a hurry to get out of here, fill out your name, address, where you live, your hunting license number. The rest, we've got everything else done for you. I've got the date, the field, all that good stuff, the bird count, all that's done. All I need is your pedigree information.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So fill this out. I realize you're in a hurry. This will take you 30 seconds. Get it done. We'll have your
Here's
birds
the thing.
done.
I'm not carrying you to your truck in my side by side until this shit's filled out.
Right.
Yeah.
You're not going to eat till it's done.
Yeah.
You know, you can leave here with me. I still got decoys to pick up and blinds to break down. That's okay. That comes with the territory. Some of them help, some of them
You're
don't.
not leaving me with a federal offense, though.
That's right.
well, and that's what scares me more than anything is they're an undercover with you.
Yeah.
And
Justin, you know that son of a bitch over there. I ain't never seen his eyes.
I get nervous even advertising, trying to get new customers.
did you
You know what I mean? I want people who've been here for 12 years. 'Cause
Did you
surely
see how he was looking at me?
That's a fed.
Yeah.
That's a fed if I've ever seen one. We have them come. Jeff, there's been a couple times Jeff's got a call from our local game warden. He's like, "Well, you passed." You're like, "What do you mean?" Feds hunted with you and everything went good. So you passed.
Gosh almighty.
They're amongst us. But I just do everything the same. I mean, and that's
Anytime you got a new customer,
yeah, they're always a fed.
You go-
I'll always text
that's
Jeff.
the fact. That's
I text Jeff. Well, They're with us today.
That's the mole right there. That's him. He's a spy.
Yeah. Well, we spread our birds out in the blind as we go, like, you know, to make sure all the birds aren't in one big pile. And it's like, okay, this is yours, this is yours, this is yours. And we just go down the line. And when everybody's got what they need, we're done, boys.
Yeah.
I was a little nervous.
That damn Mexican food didn't sit quite well with Jeff.
It got Jeff in the bind, didn't it?
That stomach virus that the whole rest of the family's had just got hold of him.
He can get that over the phone though. That's a trait of Jeff Stanfield. He can talk to Stacey all the way in Alabama, and if Stacey's got the stomach bug, 2 days later Jeff's got the stomach bug.
Yeah.
It goes over the phone.
It's like my wife, you will not outsick that woman. I'm telling you right now. I can get a sniffle and she's going to come down with hammer toe and 3 or 4 other ailments, you know. And,
You can't outsick that motherfucker.
oh, she's like, I swear I've got shingles. Why do you think you got
Why do you
shingles?
have that?
Well, my side itches. Well,
Scratch the motherfucker.
yeah, it's just,
It happens to the best of us. You okay?
Oh, damn.
No, we're worried about you.
We're
Well,
busting
we
balls.
wasn't gone 5 minutes.
No, you just got up in a hurry. We were
Busting
worried.
balls right there.
There was one day I was nervous. The local guys pulled up, and it was one of those things. Hunt ended, and 10 seconds later they're out there. So I was like, all right, guys, when you get out, just throw your bird, because we had like 3 or 4 A-frames stuck together. I was like, throw your birds over the front, and then instead of carrying all your shit through, just throw your birds in the front, and, you know, that'll be that. They pull up right there, and I'm like, fuck, I bet you some birds are like touching each other and not properly, like whatever the
They hit
pile's
us
supposed to be.
every year like clockwork.
Yeah.
They hit us early. And I think it's, you know, we're going to set precedent. You know, you'll be looking for us all year long. But, you know, and year before last, we had a customer. Game warden comes up to me, he's checking it. He said, hey, got one over there and ain't got a plug in his gun. Look over there and Shannon. He said, dude, I stopped at Bass Pro, the pyramid there in Memphis, and I said, it's the plug in that gun in there. He said, he meant it was in the box, I guess.
Oh.
Yeah. Oops. So he got his ticket. So he was loading 3.
Yeah.
He didn't know he didn't have a plug. And, you know, we get people all the time that, I know y'all do. They buy a gun on the way.
Mm-hmm.
Or they got
in the parking lot.
Or they got a gun, or put it on, hadn't shot it in 2 or 3 years. And folks, let me tell you something. Don't use rim oil for a waterfowl gun. Rim oil and cold and moisture is bad day.
Yeah. That just frozen.
yeah.
That's right.
You got a frozen hunk of shit in your hand.
And you know, that's something I try to stress to my guides too. You know, when you're a waterfowl guy, when you're a guide and you're an outfitter, you ain't just a hunting guy. You're a mechanic.
Oh yeah, you're everything.
You're a cook. I clean toilets.
Mm-hmm.
I get on my knees and I scrub and clean around toilets. I pick up trash. I make beds. We all do that. But when you go hunting and you carry a bag, don't go out there and be a dick. I've just got my duck calls and I got my gun. You know, you carry pliers, you carry zip ties, you carry duct tape, and every time WD-40 will save your ass in a hunt.
Yep. I got one of those little bitty cans.
Yep. Yeah. How many times you go, God damn, my gun won't shoot. It won't cycle. Give it to me. And just fill it full.
Yeah.
You're a hero the rest of the day. When it comes tip time,
Yeah.
he remembers that shit.
Yeah. Yeah, you saved me.
Yep. Mia Khalifa.
No, some girl got a lady that's a
Bonnie Blue's the hot name now.
Could you imagine being 999 in that fucking queue? Like, well, I've been here for 8
That
hours.
puts another term on sloppy seconds, don't it?
She said she did 10:54 because 40 of the guys came in after it was already going, and they waited like 12 hours, and she didn't have the heart to tell them no. She was going to stop at 1,000.
And you stand over in line.
You get like less than 2 minutes
They're over
during the whole thing. I do not understand this.
sitting over there fluffing in line.
Oh my! I don't understand this at all. I'm not saying that I'm Mr. High and Mighty about a lot of things, but
Yeah.
What the fuck are we doing there?
How's your turkey been this year?
Good. Yeah, a lot of jakes running around. I think all the rain that we had last year, last May, and into June, really helped those young poults.
I've heard lots of rain in Texas sprouts turkeys.
And it's crazy how fast it happened because last year it was pretty slim turkey numbers.
Yeah.
And like one of the properties that we have, like opening day called in 11 jakes, and like last year if we'd have been hunting, it'd have been 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just kind of like the quail population. It just rebounds real fast, but it can also get wiped out real fast.
It just takes that little bit of undergrowth.
Me and Dusty been hunting 4 days since Thursday on a lease. So these boys got 1,000+ acres over there in Sweetwater, Texas.
Boy, you screwed up. Shouldn't say where you're at.
They can't get it.
Just say
Sweetwater's a big area.
just north of Brownsville.
That's right. Kind of, sort
Rio
of.
Grande.
It is when I loaded
Yeah.
in damn quail.
Oh, really?
I'm serious when I say I could go out there and sit down most any spot on that place and limit out with a Red Ryder BB gun.
They'll scare the fuck out of you walking
Oh,
turkeys.
they did
though.
this morning in the dark. We were walking down a hill. Trying to be quiet because we knew what tree he was in.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of the 4 that's big enough in that whole part of the world to put a turkey in.
Yeah.
You know, and
That son of a bitch broke my heart.
and they were closer to Stacey than they were me, but they
just get out right underneath your feet.
yes.
Oh yeah.
I was walking out with my boys one of the times that we hunted, and we, just kind of bebopping, trying to get to the truck. But what was weird is like a storm was blowing in. It wasn't a thunderstorm, but it was like a windstorm, and got really cloudy, and the winds shifted. And ever since we had that tornado last year, boys are just anytime a cloud blows up, just go, is this a tornado, Dad? Do we need to run to the truck? I'm like, you don't need to run to the fucking truck. Like we got nothing. No, we don't have a chance of rain.
It'll kill you in the truck too.
Yeah, shut up. I'm driving the fucking truck, so like it ain't going anywhere until I get there. So we're walking, and same thing, right underneath our feet, and they both jump. Like, what was that, Dad? They'll get you, kid. They get me every time.
I watched a little rooster yesterday. And he sat over there and he got under a mesquite bush. Son, he was laying pipe. I watched him breed about 5 hens right there. They get over and they talk shit.
I almost had a pair of dove in the road. They were fucking and wouldn't get out of the road.
Fucking doves.
Fucking dove right in the middle of the road. I almost ran right over them.
You ever almost stepped on some Hungarian partridges? We were in South Dakota or Montana, and I shot
one.
I had some come out from under my feet. God Almighty, about had twice as big as a damn quail, but it's not twice as loud. It got scared the shit out of me.
That's the worst turkey hunting because you're trying to be all quiet, maneuvering, and then
And every day you're running deer, straight up underneath the roost. They're blowing and snorting.
coming out right at
They won't even let you
sunrise.
shoot her this
Let me
time
tell
of
you,
year.
this is my theory on blowing ass does and roosted turkeys. I am 100% failure killing that damn gobbler if a damn doe starts blowing. You might as well go home.
You think they're coordinating together?
I think that they know warning.
I asked
warning sounds.
I asked Davey Owens. And he's a hell of a turkey killer. I said, let me throw something at you. I said, so you got a gobbler, you've roosted, Dave. You know he's in there. You got a doe starts blowing at you. I said, the only way that I've ever had a chance, and it took me years to learn it, is back ass out and get on the opposite side of where I went in. And get on the other side, because that son of a bitch, if he's going that way every day, he's not going that way today because that doe blew at you.
Right. Yeah. Is this y'all's first year hunting in Sweetwater?
Yeah.
North of Brownsville.
Yeah. Well, wherever. Have you noticed the roost is the same spot every day where y'all are?
Yep.
Yeah.
Gotta be.
Hell, got to be. 'Cause
Is it that way?
There's 5 trees on 1,000 acres.
Is it that way in Alabama though?
No.
It shifts.
Just wherever they end up at.
All right, no, let me get back. There's areas, you got roost areas in Alabama, in those ridges and trees and everything. There's a place I've been hunting for 15 years. and there's always going to be a turkey roosted in that area,
Right.
pretty much in that tree. And you're right. There's strategic places. A gobbler wants to get on a point where he can sit up there and he'd holler. He can sit up there and talk shit. Okay, I got enough of you whores down here. And I'll jump off down there and talk to you a while. Whatever. And it's always a strategic point.
Mm-hmm.
What
Out here, if you get, I got pictures on my phone. I've been watching damn hens and gobblers roosted on telephone poles because they ain't got no trees.
Right. That's the good thing about where we are, because like I don't even mess with going out there in the evening time because they roost in the same tree every. And if it's not the same tree, it's 50 yards away. Mm-hmm. So I've always just kind of been of the mind like me going out the night before is probably going to fuck more stuff up than it is helping me, because I pretty well know where they're going to be morning to morning.
have you ever been to South Texas? You've been to really South Texas, haven't you?
Yeah.
Like around the Kennedy Ranch where Charles Beatty did all his stuff, and on that King Ranch, that road going between Raymondsville and Kingsville used to be a big high wires, the big wires, and you'd look, them turkeys would roost all along that. I mean, every one of them would have 20, 30, 40 turkeys on it. Just
Sit up there
crazy.
just rocking, holding on to the wire.
No, these would be on the cross
I
beams,
seen
the
them
big
sitting
metal
on
cross
the.
beams.
I seen them sitting on the wire 2 days ago.
There's not a lot. I saw some tree ducks last year on the telephone line. I thought it was funny as shit. You don't think of a duck sitting on a damn tree line. What did I'm going to ask you a question before we get off here, because we're going 2 hours. What's the craziest thing you've ever seen out in the country? Both of you on this. We used to ask this all the time. We've gotten away from it. The weirdest thing you've ever seen out in the middle of nowhere?
Not the skinwalker.
I seen a man.
Not the doctor's office.
No. All right. This was on a lease I was on, and it was you had to go over a big steep mountain, work your way down in the truck. All right, and I'm working second shift at the steel plant. That's when I'm a coon hunter. I had to train every night, so it's like 1:30 in the morning. I've done trade a couple of coons back down the holler, and it's this place where I'm at. It's got a creek running through, big old mountain on one side, and a bunch of ridges on the other side. But it's all a big chute straight. So I'm coming out of there. There's one way in, one way out. So I'm coming out of there. I'm done for the night because he had traded one there close to the road. That was third count. I said, yes, good. I'm going home. I start driving. And in my headlights, there's a guy. He got a pair of blue, and it's cool. It's in the 40s. He's got on a polo shirt, it's striped, blue jeans, tennis shoes. Neat looking guy. Hair's kept and everything. Anyway, I said, dang, bud, you get stuck down here? Because a lot of kids would come in there and go four-wheel and get stuck. But I would have seen them come across the mountain. Now, I've been in there 4 hours now, hunting. I ain't seen them. Nobody's come in there. I know it. And he's miles from a highway. And I see him walking. I said, y'all get down there and get stuck there in them sand pits on the creek? Oh, yeah. You need a ride? Yeah. So I jump in. This is in the woods. This ain't out on the highway picking up hitchhikers.
What time is it?
2:30 in the morning. 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. And I said, where you stuck at? He said, I'm not stuck. How'd you get out here? Well, I got county released me this morning. He said, I got on them railroad tracks. And he said, I just started walking. I wound up here. I said, I get thinking, this motherfucker. He didn't walk no damn railroad tracks from Gadsden County, Etowah County, and wind his ass up over here in this damn holler where I'm at. So I get my damn pocket knife out. I've got it open. I'm sitting here driving. This is my left hand. Mm-hmm. I figure I'm going to stab my way out of this shit. This motherfucker has killed somebody.
Oh, shit.
Or so I thinking that shit.
Yeah.
But to this day, I got him out, and I got to a store. I said, son, this is where you get out.
Sound like that going back to Alabama.
This is where you get off, son.
And he says, well, I need to go to Sardis up there on that mountain. I said, you ain't getting there with me. I said, your fucking ass is out here. And that has always blowed my mind because I was in a desolate.
Wouldn't you like to figure out what the story was on that?
I would. That's just, I've heard bobcats out there scream. You ever been in the dark and have a muscle twitch and it feel like somebody tap you on the shoulder?
Yeah. Or a little twig that you
Yeah.
didn't quite break and it
Yeah,
kind
I've-
of trying to stand back up.
You know, coon hunting make you a damn man.
What about you, Dusty?
Probably the weirdest thing is when I grew up deer hunting through high school and stuff. Our family had some land in Louisiana over south of Shreveport, and we hunted over there. There weren't any deer. It was stupid. Like a good year, we might see 6 deer. You wouldn't kill that many. You'd see them. And but I was sitting in a box blind trying to bow hunt. Had some big windows so I could still shoot out of it and stuff. And I'm sitting there and I kind of hear something, and I look up on the hill, and there is a huge John Coffey big black man in an orange jumpsuit with a silver pistol that looked like it was that long, unholstered, just walking down through there, down the edge of the woods. And I got a bow and arrow.
Kimasabi.
And I'm like, do I just go ahead and shoot him? Or do I be real quiet and leave? I didn't know what to do. And so I thought, well, maybe he won't even know that I'm here. And he gets over there about 65, 70 yards, and he just dead stops and looks straight at me. And I'm like, why'd you have to look at me? And I waved at him. I was like, hey. And he waved at me, and then he hightailed it. Kept going. And so he went that way. I went back that way to the truck. Never hunted in there again.
You never did know the story about why he was in there?
Actually, the people that owned that was across the road from some of our family land. It was a black family, and he had not just got out of jail, even though that's what it appeared, but he was in there hunting is what he was doing.
I
I don't know what he was going to kill.
With a pistol this long.
A big silver pistol, unholstered, just walking. I mean,
You don't have to
Clint
get
Eastwood
ready.
would have been jealous. That's that kind of pistol.
when I was 20 years old, my dad lived. I don't think I was 20. Anyways, my dad lived a couple of miles from where I lived at, and he was out of town. I'd go feed his dogs. In the evening time, I'd go over and feed the dogs, wash down the kennel, and do all that stuff. So I was going over there, and it was winter time, so it was dark at 5:30, 6 o'clock, 6:30. You know, it got dark early, and I'm driving down the road, and I had a little RX-7 sports car, and I saw something like in the ditch, and I was like, "What the hell is that?" You know, and I hit my lights on bright. I thought it was a deer or something, and where we lived at, that deer were not common, but it wasn't uncommon, you know. So if you saw a deer, it's not like it now. There's deer everywhere in North Texas. So, anyways, it's a lady, a black lady. So I rolled down my window. I mean, I cracked that window about a half inch. I was a chicken shit. It was dark. And I didn't know what the hell she's doing. Anyways, I rolled down my window, and she goes, "Sir, help me, help me." And she opened my freaking door. I thought my door was locked, and the lights come on in my car. You know, when your door, open the door. And she gets in the car, and the first thing I do as soon as she closes the door, the lights go out, is I hit the button, push the lights on, and she goes, "Help me." And she looks at me, and her throat had been slit from one side ear to the other side.
Son of a
And I was like, "What the hell?" And I'm like, "Okay, let's go up here and we'll call the cops." "Oh, sir, don't call the cops. Don't call the cops." I mean, she's bleeding. Now, it's not like cut where it's gurgling blood.
Yeah, but she's cut.
She's cut. And I'm like, "What the hell happened to you?" She goes, please, just don't call the cops. Can you just give me a ride to my house? I go, "Ma'am, you're hurt." I said, "What happened?" She goes, "This guy gave me a ride. He asked me for a blowjob, and I wouldn't do it. And he got out and started screaming at me. He swung at her with a tire tool, and he just nicked her neck. And it just cut it right across the side of that son of a bitch. She's bleeding and stuff. And she's like, "Just please, just give me a ride. Give me a ride." I said, where do you live at?" She goes, "I live at the Triple D Motel." Now, the Triple D Motel sounds about like what you'd think the Triple D Motel. It's on Scott Street in Wichita Falls. This is probably 1987, 1988. It's not a good side of town to be on. Mm-hmm. So I give her a ride to the Triple D Motel. And then I'm thinking, God, everybody going to watch. I go, "Are you a prostitute?" That's a question I asked her. "No, sir. Why would you think that?" "Well, we're at Triple D Motel." So anyways.
Throat's cut.
The sign says hourly rates.
Yeah. So we pull up there, and she goes, "Can you give me $1 for a beer?" I was like, "Yeah, I gave her $2 to have 2 beers." And boy, I got the hell out of there. I was like,
I'll
shit.
give you $5 if you'll leave and never talk.
But when my door opened, I about shit on myself because I thought I just had that much, had that glass between us for some safety. Boy, all of a sudden she was in my car, scared the piss out of me.
So you got me thinking about the weirdest shit I've ever seen. I guess the weirdest thing I ever seen, I was down in Union Springs, Alabama, turkey hunting. Now I'm in there, kind of walking and talking, see if I can get one struck up. And I'm walking beside this creek. And I walk, and there's a Toyota Corolla in the creek, sitting sideways in the creek. And there ain't no roads around there. That son of a bitch is off in the creek. The sand, it's a sandy bottom creek. There's so much sand in it. Sand is level with the tops of the doors, and water's going through it, flowing through there like that. How the hell did they get a goddamn Toyota Corolla out there in the middle of the damn woods?
You should have went and looked at the trunk. Might have been a body in there.
Mata.
Me and Andy.
And I ain't gonna.
Me and Andy were at the ranch across the river from us. Do you remember that where all the cars were and shit, those kids' toys?
I have stood on top of a burnt man.
Oh,
Oh, really?
I was coon hunting one night. Y'all got me started now. Shit's coming to me. I'm coon hunting one night over in Ball Play, Alabama. And there's some shingles right there, and they're still kind of smoking out there in the damn. I kept some tires smelling, but shingles. This woman had lived up there, and she had two little lovers. These little boys about 18, 19 years old. And she had convinced them boys to kill her husband. And they had drug her husband down there in the damn woods on that old road there where we was off down in there coon hunting. And they covered him up with shingles, set him on fire. And them shingles burn hot, son. Mm. And they had put pressure on them kids, and they told them that they'd burned him. And all they found was just little fragments of bones, because, I mean, it had cooked him so good, there wasn't much left.
and you were sitting on top of it.
I was standing right there at it. I was sitting there looking down at it and said, what's he damn? Somebody burned all these damn shingles out here.
Shit.
There's no river across the land across from Dill here.
Yeah.
And maybe it was me and Tony, but we looked at turkey hunting or goose hunting. We were going to go in there to hunt one day, and there was, or pig hunting. And there's an old, like a dump, trash dump kind of deal where people dump their trash out in the country. And it was all kids' those Jeeps that you can drive, those battery operated. There's 100 of them in there. And it was like, it was weird. I'm like, who the hell would use this as a damn battery? It's just kind of a creepy deal. I've always said the creepiest shit, if you want to scare a grown man out by himself at a deer lease, like where you saw the guy with the silver gun, if you'd play a recording, and it's kids playing on a playground, that sound all, that's it. That would creep the shit out of you in the middle of the woods. Bunch of kids.
Ice cream truck.
Yeah, anything like that, or a ring of Rosie, pocket full of posies. Hell no.
Little girls playing jump rope. And
Yeah,
stuff.
shit. That would get you out of the woods. Because every grown man I know is scared of the dark. I don't care what they say. They got something scared of them. Most of us ain't
Well,
picking
guess
up a
who's hunting
hitchhiker.
alone tomorrow, Stacey?
I won't throw this is completely off that subject. It's about hunting and guns. What do your turkey gun? Do you shoot pistol grip?
No, I just shoot my waterfowl shotgun.
You like a pistol grip gun?
Never shot a pistol grip gun.
I've shot one before, but I don't. I'm not turkey hunting.
Boss number 9 is all I shoot.
And I shoot boss. That's why I shot. I hunt my 410 today.
Yeah.
Little TriStar with a pistol grip. I love them. Why don't waterfowlers use pistol grip?
Can you imagine the jackasses in a blind with pistol grips? I don't think that'd be very safe. I think he'd be a lot safer.
It still has like the stock, but it's just got the.
Just get the grip.
Everything's the same. Kind of like
so it's not like a pistol grip like you're holding like an old
No.
sawed-off shotgun.
No, it still
no,
has
like
the
no,
stock. It's just instead of
like
like
an old
AR.
Tommy gun type deal.
like an AR.
yeah, like an AR.
Okay, yeah. I don't know.
I
don't know
love
what's never-
mine, and because I can carry it good, I can handle it good, with just one hand, And I know y'all Mossberg listens to this and stuff, so I want to throw it at pros, but I would like to have a pistol grip waterfowl gun. That's what I want. A 12 gauge.
Sure, somebody could do it for you.
We used to have a guy I used to have a bunch of Russians from Chicago used to come here and they'd shoot pigs and pheasants every year with me back when my dad was alive. So it's been a long time ago. But they would, one of them had an AR, 12 gauge AR. Some bitch gun weighed 35 pounds probably. Big old round deal with fucking shells in it and stuff. It's crazy.
Big drum.
But boy, I'm gonna tell you what, you should clean out a freaking house in Afghanistan with one of them things.
Yeah.
What'd y'all think about this? Several duck species included in tipping point list as new report sounds alarms over U.S. bird decline.
Pintails are gonna be 3 birds per year next year.
That's what I've heard. And the theory is there's too many males.
Yep.
But numbers are crashing right now.
Well, first thing I would do is I would go to Canada and I'd say, listen, we're going to 5 bird limit in Canada, and I'd go 3 bird limit everywhere in the United States. People are still going to hunt just as much as they are. They want to shoot ducks. They want to go. And I think if you went to 5 birds in Canada, I don't think nobody would bitch. And if you went to 3, and people would bitch a little bit, but in Arkansas, if you could shoot 3 mallards a day and that's it, people would still hunt, and that would be better for the outfitters, be better for the birds. everything the way deal. We're on a stupid 5-bird spec limit here. We shoot 3. We're not changing that. We're happy
There
with that.
is not a damn waterfowl hunter out there in existence anymore that is waterfowl hunting to feed his family.
Nope, none of them. That's exactly right there. There's a lot of 100-bird stacks, but out of them 100-bird stacks, how many of them geese are getting eaten?
Yeah.
I mean,
It makes me sick, to be honest with you.
Yes, because it would make everyone sick if they knew how much wanton waste is done on the waterfowl. We come in here, we clean birds, we send them with our customers. How many of those customers actually leave those birds or throw them in a dumpster when they get home? Because I would bet you that 20 to 30% of those birds get taken home by clients and never, ever, ever reach a grill or a skillet.
I bet that's it's bigger. That number's bigger.
I bet it's 80 to 90%.
Now this might be my ignorance. That's not illegal though, is it? Once you get
Yes,
home,
you can't throw a bird away. It's one
once
waste.
you get home, if
still
you
can't throw it
realize,
away.
what are you gonna do with it? Just let it sit in your freezer and rot?
That's better than throwing it away. If they wanted to get technical, it's wanton waste.
Really?
Yes.
A
Well, why wouldn't it be?
A processed bird that you take home. It's your bird to do with what you want.
I really thought once you got home with it,
I thought it
that
was
changed
whatever
everything.
you wanted to do with it.
I don't think so. I was wrong about something the other day we talked about though.
If it ain't illegal, they ought to be ashamed.
Yeah, I think it's still wanton waste if you intentionally just throw something away. But you can say it got freezer burned because everyone's had freezer burned or freezer went out.
I had 2 fucking ribeyes that I found at the back of the freezer that I realized were freezer burned. I had to throw them away. But it's mine.
I was yeah, but it's not a wild bird. I was wrong the other day when we were talking about the school getting sued over that stabbing.
Yeah.
You were right.
Yeah, you can't sue.
You cannot sue a school
Can't
for
sue a
something
city either.
No, you can't. You can sue like a judge. If you come into court and see me and I say, okay, Dusty, I'm gonna let you out on personal recognizance bond, or I'm gonna give you a $10,000 bond, and you go kill somebody when you leave there. That doesn't come back on the judge. There's no liability for me. It's the same with the city on that stabbing.
I thought so.
And that's a screwed up story by itself. But you cannot sue a school. So I was wrong on that because I did call it to a superintendent friend of mine, and I asked him. I go, "Is there liability there for the school?" He said, "No, there's zero liability."
But back to that, you think it's wanton waste?
I think it's wanton waste if you go home and throw a bird away. Yes, I think it's no different than
I really thought once it got to
your
someone's abode, it was
Whatever. It's
completely
the
different.
final destination.
Yeah.
It's just whatever
Well,
it is.
I can promise you, if this podcast dropped tomorrow morning at 8:00, by 11:00,
You're
I
gonna
will
know.
know because
Yeah.
someone
Well,
will
I mean,
message
that's,
me.
that's
and
fine. I mean, like I said.
No, I would
it's-
like to know, but I think it's
Yeah.
wanton waste.
It's a shame that people do
Yes,
that.
I,
And
Now,
it's a
I
shame
could
we've
see-
got people that want to know how to cook waterfowl all the time.
Yeah.
And at the lodge, we can't cook them for
And that
them.
would be the
Nope.
damn
Right.
ticket. It's what? Because all of us can cook waterfowl pretty good. We've eaten it for years. But
one
we
of us in
can't.
this room ain't.
But well, I know, some of us puss out. You know, need a Jack's hamburger, McDonald's.
Rather have that than waterfowl anytime. But the people that love, but you're right. And then I've got people here that want to take birds home extra.
But we
There
can't
ain't a
cook it for
coon
'em.
ass comes through this place that wouldn't take every bird you'd give them. And I would rather a guy say, listen, I'm paid for the processing, but give it to somebody that wants it. Because we'll get somebody that wants it. Or we make sausage here that I do like waterfowl when we do the goose and jalapeno and summer sausage.
Yeah.
I like it. Cheese and summer sausage, jalapeno. But I think a big majority of those 100-bird stacks you see all over the place are not getting eaten. How many of those 400 and 500 snow goose hunts actually than people eating?
I don't know how many they're eating. I know they all get cleaned at our place.
No, of course they do.
But does
the
it not tear
customer
your
does
ass
not.
up for somebody to say sky carp?
No.
God, I'd rather you insult my wife and my children than for you to call a snow goose a sky carp. That son of a bitch is the hardest son of a bitch to kill.
I'm not
out
disagreeing
there.
with you on that.
He's hard to kill, and he eats good. And if you'll quit piling them up and letting the goddamn thing sour, that's what happens.
I'm sure
They
there's-
want to make a big pile right there. Oh, goddamn, look at all these birds.
Too much heat.
And too much heat, and they sit that meat sours.
I'm sure there's a good way to cook them. I'm not knocking that. Any waterfowl, even a bufflehead, which my people up north love, or pooldoos, which is a coot for you southern or for you northerners.
Poodoo.
But I do not think that majority of them get taken, eaten like they should, because we kill too many of them. I don't know anybody that ever's like, I'm having goose tonight or duck, and I'm sure there's some people that do. But
I've got some customers now that love the speckle bellies. They're
that's
they
the best
would
eating
take
goose supposedly.
everybody's limit that's there if you could allow it. You know what I mean? And and they when they get them home, they bag them up.
They take care of
two
them.
breasts, one for him, one for his wife.
Yeah,
And I mean they
They're
really
doing what
enjoy
you
'em.
should do.
Absolutely.
The same with, like, people used to say all the time, oh, I don't like to eat elk. Yeah, my uncle killed an elk and we ate it. Well, yeah, he strapped it on his truck 2 or 3 hours west of Denver, drove home in September when it's 120 in the Texas Panhandle, got home to East Texas,
Hung
and
in
this
a
bitch
barn.
cooked the whole way. And then everybody come over and took pictures, and then 3 days later they processed it and they go, the meat don't taste good. Well, yeah, it wasn't taken care of.
Fish. It's like fish. When I go down to Venice, all the fish that I keep, I cut their gills, or my guide cuts their gills. They bleed out in that icy water. Makes the meat a lot better. It's how you treat your game when you killed it. I mean, when you kill a buck, when you kill a whitetail, you don't stick your knife all the way into the gut and rip up through there to gut him. No, you're trying to get under the damn hide, then, and just barely get on it so you can get those guts out without busting that punch in there. And it's stinking, getting shit and piss and every damn bile.
Yeah, we need to respect the game we kill. Everything. I don't like to see anything suffer, and you need to respect it from the kill to the grill.
I'm gonna tell you what, I got romping. He was with me. We got a client. I ain't gonna say his name. He comes every year. He's a cocksucker.
Oh, he ends with us too.
He has no respect for the game whatsoever. If I'll go out there and if we shoot a goose, my dog brings it in, and I don't just grab them and throw them in the fucking pile, because you may want to mount. It's a beautiful bird. A damn snow goose, a blue with a white head, is the prettiest bird I have ever seen. And I'll bring them in, and I'm kind of holding them under the belly and bring it to him so he can appreciate it. Yeah, just threw it down in the damn mud right there, in the water, mud. Don't try to hang it up. Don't put it on the bench in the blind or nothing like that. Just throw it down there like it's a goddamn rock.
Yeah, we killed 2 cacklers that one day.
Yeah,
and we don't get. I mean,
I hope that
if we kill
motherfucker
2
don't never
cacklers
come
in a
back.
day, that's the 2 we kill that year.
Right. Don't blackball him. Don't let him come back. I've had
That's
groups
what I told
that have
him.
done
I
it.
said, don't let that motherfucker come. Next time he calls, tell him we're booked.
I got my calendar in there. I've got a guy's name that hunts every year the same days. It says "Do not book."
We need
It's
it.
got his 3 names. And I put it on next year's. So when he calls me for this year's dates, it's going to say "Do not book," and that's right.
We need an outfitters, because there's a blacklist for outfitters. Don't book with them. Don't book with them.
Right.
We need a blacklist.
We do out here.
Don't book that cocksucker.
I started a Facebook page.
Yeah. Don't let him come.
Yeah, we've got me and a couple of the guys out here. We talk about customers that any of my shitty customers, I like to send to Justin Hill at Ranger Creek Goose, because Justin's really nice. So if you're a real pain in the ass, call Justin 325-260-8626. Okay.
But you said you nailed it. Have respect for that's like the turkeys. Got all the respect in the world. I get every piece of meat I can. I get the hips, the legs. I even skin up the back, because if you get up there on his back, he's got 2 scallops right up there at his shoulder blades.
Oysters.
Yeah, take those. Treat him
that's the best meat on the turkey.
Yeah, it is.
treat him with some damn respect. Don't just breast him and throw him off in a ditch. Teach him. Treat him with respect.
But a lot of these young kids, and they don't do that. They kill it, and
It's
that's
a
it.
damn Facebook post.
It's kill it, and
It's a
that's
TikTok
it.
moment.
How many times have you seen a big post with all these dead piles that you ever see a picture of these kids all cleaning these birds? And it's not just kids. When I say kids, anybody under the age of 40 years old is a kid to me. I'm old now, and so that's just what it is.
Absolutely.
But I see these young guys, and it's always the flat bill. And they get these big stacks of birds. And they shoot them. How many of them do you ever see them cooking these birds or cleaning these birds? So don't come at us and complain when I say I think the duck limit ought to be 3.
Right.
So instead of
100%.
So if there's 15 of you and you're trying to shoot 100 ducks now let's shoot 50 ducks or 40 ducks or 45 ducks. That way your kids, and I know some of you young guys don't believe this, but one day you're going to have kids. And today's people are having kids older. There's not as many 22 and 23-year-olds having kids. It's more people 32 and 33. But one day you're going to become my age, and you're going to have kids that are 10 or 12, 15 years old, and you're going to wish that you'd have saved some of those ducks or geese for them.
Yes, you are.
Give them an opportunity.
That's like these Jake killers.
Mm-hmm.
You told me if I come and turkey hunt with you, you'd let me shoot a jake.
No, I did not.
Yes, you did.
I
You
did
said,
not.
Jeff,
My wife won't even shoot a
you
goddamn
said,
jake.
I will though.
No,
I said,
you won't.
I said, yeah, I will too with Andy.
You got respect for him.
I told Andy. I said that's why I don't go with Andy. I called turkey and won't let me shoot him.
How's that?
Called in a Jake.
Oh, I hurt their feelings. I'm on a hunting lease in Alabama. And I come in, this is opening day. And there's two men over there. They got gray in their beards. They've got two Jakes over there, and they're posing. They're posing for pictures. And he says, that night, he sends me a damn message. He says, that was a real shitty move you had today. I said, what are you talking? And this somebody just, I don't know this motherfucker. He's just in the lease, and he sends me something on Messenger at 10:30, and he's camped at our hunting lease. But he's got drunk now. Now I'm tough.
His beer muscles are showing.
I'm a bad motherfucker right now. So he says, I said, what are you talking about? He said, you didn't congratulate us on our kills. He said, you're just kind of a selfish prick about shit like that.
Wow.
I said, you killed.
Jesus.
I said, y'all killed two Jakes. I said, I can take a 3-year-old Aborigine idiot and go kill Jakes. I said, you didn't impress me. That ain't fucking impressing. I said, I'll get 5 or 6 in a damn field, and I'll talk to them. I said, hey, y'all better get your ass out of here. Get your go on, get. You know, and they'll just stand there.
Yeah.
That damn Rio shit. You
didn't congratulate
So
the
did
guy
you confront him later,
I
face
did.
to face?
I did.
when he sobered up.
So I come the next day, and I was done playing. I had a bird roosted over and across the Georgia line. Went over there, killed my bird, drove 40 miles out of the way and drove over there. Well, there they are. There's them two. There's some more of the deer hunters in the club. They're having a beer drinking. And so one of them looks at me, oh, yeah, Stacey, how you doing? I'm all right. What you doing? I said, that motherfucker over there wanted to talk to me last night. So I said, so you want to whip my ass? He said, no, where'd you get that from? He says, who said it? I said, because when you start sending me goddamn messages at 10:30 and 10:45 at night, I said, obviously you're wanting to tear my ass up.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm here to oblige you. And here's two old fucking men. You know, I would headbutt him, bite his nose off. And then he started that shit about the damn Jakes. I said, man, Jakes are everywhere. You ain't impressed nobody. He said, so I don't do it like you do it. I said, he said, so I crawled out there like an Indian. He says, that shows more hunting instinct and savvy than what you do. I said,
He calling out your
Uh-oh.
deal.
Now you
yeah.
don't know how to hunt.
I said, okay.
Did
First
y'all
off,
get getting close to getting blows here now?
he never would get up behind that damn picnic table. I said, first of all, Indians didn't have damn 12 gauges. Indians was throwing sticks and rocks at them, and they didn't have no goddamn TSS.
Yeah.
If they'd have had the bows we had now, we might all be speaking Comanche.
Hey, yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
yeah. No, we'd all be in England somewhere or something. We'd
Took our ass whooping and gone back.
We'd be in Canada. That's what we do. We'd run them motherfuckers out and take their shit.
They're already pretty soft.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're soft, little woke, ain't they?
Yeah. Real woke.
So a little 10%
So-
tariff on them. They all hate our damn guts.
So he didn't have much else to say to you face
No, he
to face?
didn't. And I hadn't seen him back at the club.
What did his buddy say?
He was.
Was
the bu-
nobody instigating this? Because I'm an instigator.
There was a deer hunter there. It was instigating. I
would've
went to
been.
high school. So then it started. He said, there's plenty of turkey. I said, there's plenty of damn deer. I said, let me ask you. All right, Chris. I'm going to call his name. Chris D. Smith. You motherfucker. So they got a rule on their deer. I don't deer hunt. I wouldn't drag a deer across the street. I don't deer hunt. You have them all. So I said, what's the size limit on deer? He said, well, it's a 8-pointer better, needs to be outside his ears. But you can kill. But I said, damn, spikes are legal. Yeah, but we don't allow that. Well, I don't fucking allow killing goddamn Jakes. He says, I said, how's that different? And I said, I tell you what. Okay, he said, Then it started, I didn't hang out with them. I didn't drink beer with them. I said, I don't know you motherfuckers. Y'all ain't my friends. You just people in the damn club. I got friends. But I said, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to deer hunt this year. I'm going to get up there and I'm going to gut shoot every son of a bitch that walks in that damn field. And them damn food plots, I'm going to shoot them right square in the goddamn gut. I can't find that. And pow. I can't find that neither. That son of a bitch run off. Well, he said, well, people might have something to say about that. Exactly. Have some goddamn ethics about you.
Boy, if I'd have been there and I'd have been instigating and said, Stacey, I think he'd whoop your ass.
He probably could.
Get on him, Chris Smith. Whoop his ass.
Chris Smith.
I'd have had you so fired up.
I fired myself up.
You'd been so much fun.
It don't take a whole lot.
It don't take nobody else.
Oh, that
I
would be
thought at
fun.
that gas station today we were going to have to get into it.
I get out there walking, talking by my damn self, speaking in tongues, man.
Somebody pulled up with loud music. And he's like, can you hear that?
Hey! Can you hear that?
They turned it off.
It was boom,
I don't blame you. It wears me out too.
boom, and it was a white guy.
You never listened to Van Halen loud?
Hell yes.
I
got a
good
goddamn
music
this
though.
was.
Man, I got
Oh,
10.
not like that.
Man, I don't have a goddamn truck. It ain't got a 10-inch woofer and amps and shit in it. 'Cause I make that shit thump.
But yeah, there's a difference.
not at a gas
He'd
station.
have pulled up listening to Panama or Drop Dead Legs. You might have said, "That's pretty good
I
shit."
might have, but
It's just
he's
respect.
a bald-headed white guy with a beard in his 40s. Listen. Dum, dum, dum.
What did he say to you? Nothing. Just turned it down.
Just
You know
Well,
what's funny? He got in
they
that
probably
car.
couldn't hear shit I said.
He got in that car and he's like, "I'd whip that old son of a bitch's ass if I'd wanted to, but I'm just gonna be nice to
Here's
him."
the thing about being an old son of a bitch like me. You say shit when motherfuckers can't really understand what you say. So you get by with it.
No, but I stayed close to the computer, is all I can tell you.
You know what my computer is, don't you?
Your gun.
Yeah.
I got a damn 9, son. That'll fold out into a damn rifle that carries in a damn laptop computer case.
I think I've seen those before.
That's a bad motherfucker. You got a 30 round clip.
30-round clip.
Bring it. Hell, I ain't got hit good. I
Well,
can
I
just,
think that's what they had over by my house the other day.
That's exactly right.
They won't take none of them to jail. I can pull the tag off a mattress and SWAT team kick my
Yeah,
windows
yeah,
in.
Yeah. No shit. That's exactly right. All right, let's get out of here, man. It's been a good time.
I enjoyed it.
I appreciate you guys coming up here. Had a nice dinner tonight. Enjoyed getting to visit with you. I will see you again at Squad. You won't go to Squad Fest, will you? I'll see you at Delta Ducks
We might
Unlimited
go.
Squad
We
Fest.
need to go Squad Fest, don't we?
I ain't going to SWAT Fest.
We ain't going to Squad Fest?
No, sir.
I'm going to Squad
It's
Fest.
because of one damn guy over there. Because
That's all.
We're not going to talk no more.
we ain't
Chris
gonna
Smith.
say
All right.
his name, Chris Neesmith.
Okay. I'll see you then at Delta or Ducks Unlimited, and I'll see you at Delta DU
All right,
if I don't
buddy.
see you at Squad Fest. All right. Thank you guys for going on here. Appreciate y'all for listening to us. Thank you for our good friends at Pacific for sponsoring this. Go and see them at the Turkey Rodeo this weekend
Is
in
Trevor
Post Falls,
woke?
Idaho.
Is Trevor woke?
No, I don't think Trevor or Alex is. Trevor's Haley might be a little bit more woke than Trevor is. She's got a great
He's coming out with a trans spec call this year.
What you need to do though is have Haley tell you the story about their horse dying. It is a great story ever. I'm trying to load it in the trailer. All right. Thanks. See you. Bye.
Love you,
Bye-bye.
bye. Watch for deer.